Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where this week, yes, you see we are currently missing a co-host. He is momentarily joining us. But as you know, Mr. Everborn, Mr. Everlate Saga joins us every time, whenever he wants to, but right on time, whenever the conversation gets heated. So don't worry about it. I'm your host for this morning, Mr. K. Asante, TKO Asante, and all the places we communicate. And I'm joined this week by some special guests. I will actually join. I'll get the community out the way first. He joins us when he so chooses, and when he does, it's because there's some slanderous topics he wants to discuss. I call him the petulant one. Good morning, Lucius Augustus. What's going on, good sir? If he's in here,
I'm playing Forza Horizon.
There you go.
The game is good. It's a good vibe. Does that mean that it's ever going to win Game of the Year? No, but it's an incredible game.
See, this is what I'm saying. He slander just opens his mouth and nothing but slander falls out. Anyway, good morning to Lucius Augustus. But of course, I am joined, ladies and gentlemen. I have been wanting this to happen in some form or fashion for some time. There was a time way back when where I was hoping that we would one day have a GCP living split screen crossover of some kind, because we share a time slot with the good brothers. They took some time off for life reasons, but I am so happy to have one half of living split screen, Mr. Steel Rain himself, joining us this morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. What's going on, beautiful people, ladies and gentlemen, knocking the cobwebs off and representing for Living Split Screen and one half of the dynamic duo for my brother Pawn Soul. It is I and I am him. But yeah, man, it's this has been a long time coming in a way, man. It's super dope to kind of knock the rust off and actually be here on the Gaming Circle again, our morning show brethren, man. It's one of those things, I was chopping it up with K. Asante in the background, and I was telling him, man, it's been such a... We would have loved to do it earlier if me and Pong just didn't know how to stop running our mouths, man. Along with all the life stuff going on in the background, it was always Living Split Screen was always a way for me and my brother to catch up on Saturday morning and just run our mouth for 4 to 5 hours. But nonetheless, it's good to be back podcasting at least for a show. Who knows what'll happen in the future, going into the future. A lot of busy things happen in the background, gaming when I can, but other than that, life keeps on moving, and it's gonna be a good time to get in here, chop it up about some gaming and about what the industry has moving and shaking, and with some good folks that I believe are a good representation of the community. So good to be here, man. Glad for having me on, and it's only happened because of Forza. I joined the GCP Discord because I'm a Discord noob, man. I'm one of those people who is like, I got Discord, but I'm never using it, man. I tried to do a community thing, but I was like, I got caught up in the minutia. It wasn't working the way that I wanted it to, and I was like, I'm just not gonna worry about it right now. So other than chopping it up with my brother, Titanium, playing Elden Ring or whatever the case, it's the only time I really use it. So jumping in there, was like, yo, you might need to come through Saturday. And it was like, maybe I knock the cobwebs off and I come through. So glad to be here. Glad you can have me, man.
Bro, I appreciate you being here. And by the way, on the topic of Discord, we are all Discord noobs. So with the exception of Lucius here, who runs our Discord by and large. He basically runs the GCP Discord. But for the most part, we're most of us in the GCP Discord, the graybeards I call us, we are all noobs. It is a necessary evil, but once you get used to it, it's a great community. You jump in, there's always fun to be had. We're on voice chat all the time while playing games, where Steel was able to join us. So it's been a great time, So and speaking of that, shout out to the great GCP Discord and the chat who is already in full force. Lots of great folks in here. Let's take a quick moment to shout out to the great fun speculations in the house. What's going on, man? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you here. It's been too long, man. I see you from time to time doing some podcasts here and there. I'm sure life is happening as well. So it's good to see you in here, man. And Lord Negatron's in here. Oh, so many great people. Big Mad Mo. What's going on to the great Infinite Umbra? A lot of great folks in here. Good morning. Yes, and speaking of our Discord, shout out to our one and only console warrior, Mr. Eastside Vandal. What's going on, Vandal? He loves it when I do that, so that's why I do that every morning. What's going on? I hope everybody's doing well. But all right, so
there's going to be some similar energy to console warring. Now it's going to be a more elevated take, but if you're a console warrior, you're not going to like me today.
Oh man, okay, this is gonna be one of those shows. Settle in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have some coffee, get some milk, pour it on that Wheaties. I think the man Lucius has already done his. Let's get started early. Let's start this thing as we always do. Let's talk games. And by the way, if you're wondering where Mr. Everborn Saga is, early chores, early tasks to be done, he will be joining us momentarily. He won't be too long, so don't even worry about it. You'll see him jump in here before too long. But before we get into the news, because there's a lot to talk about there as well, but let's start talking about some games. And I know you and Steel and we're all going to talk about Forza. Leave that one to the end. What have y'all been playing? I'll start with Steel. Anything besides Forza that has literally been taking your time this week?
Oh man, this week? Nah, I mean, other than Forza, that's been the main thing. We'll get into that.
Okay.
But I can throw some highlights out there.
Yeah.
Crimson Desert has definitely been on the mainstay again. I'm a Black Desert Online fan. Have over 1,500 hours in Black Desert. So with Pearl Abyss coming into and really standing out with the single player game now, I was excited from the very beginning when they announced Crimson Desert, and happy to say in a lot of ways the game turned out I wouldn't say as I expected, because of course it's different, but in the same aspect, it's really dope to see a team like Pearl Abyss end up making that foray, because a lot of multiplayer teams have a hard time transitioning into a different quote unquote style of game, and taking everything that they learned from the MMO and implementing it into a single player experience has been really dope to see. I think that they've knocked it out of the park. I've been playing it on the Xbox Series X mainly, and I mean, of course, performance to the side. There's been some things that got to work out as far as like shimmering and shadows and stuff like that I've definitely noticed. But other than that, I mean, the game is absolutely remarkable with just the amount of things that you can do. The combat is on point. It's just been a real good time. Of course, I haven't gotten too deep into it just because timing and everything.
How many hours you in, by the way? How many hours you into
Crimson? In Crimson Desert, I'm probably sitting at probably about, if I had to say, I'm probably about 20, maybe 30 hours in.
So you just started.
I would say light. It's on the light.
It's on the light
aspect. Yes, for sure. It's on the lighter aspect. I got caught up in doing a lot of things. Then I got pulled back into playing a gacha game that a lot of people, a lot of people look over gacha games, man. Unfortunately, right? Now, I'm not a gacha fan, mostly because I don't like missing out on characters. It just bothers the living hell out of me, man. And that was one of the reasons, because I was jumping to Wuthering Waves when it first released and missed out on one of my characters, tried to roll for them, didn't get it. I was like, yep, I'm good. But they ended up pulling me back in with the recent update with their newer character, Hayuki, and fell back in love with that again. That's probably a game that I probably easily got over 100 to almost 200 hours in. Just as an action adventure game, you want to talk about a character where a team-based action adventure game, and I think Grand Blue Fantasy Relink does it a bit better, because you don't have to deal with the gacha mechanics for those who are interested in a game that is similar. But it's not available on Xbox, unfortunately. They need to bring it to Xbox because it's an excellent experience. But for a game that in Wuthering Waves, that although it has those gacha mechanics that a lot of people speak out against, I do think that it gets overlooked, and I'm more so really bringing it to the table because it is coming to Xbox in July. And I suggest anybody who has any interest in team-based character games to try it out. It's very free to play friendly. You might not get the newest character that comes out, but they've done really well on the free to play side. I'm mostly free to play. I've only got the battle passes and stuff like that once or twice, and I've pretty much got the team that I want outside of a couple characters that, because of course they do the thing that, again, that I think Halo has definitely made people look differently at. There's other games that have done it too, but Halo's the main one that stands out, to where, you know, you get a battle pass, or a battle pass comes out and you can always go back to it. Something I hope more games start implementing, but nonetheless, Wuthering Waves is another one I got to throw up there. And then, yeah, man, Forza. But we'll get more into that as it comes up later in conversation, man. Got a lot to speak to it. So
excellent. Before we get into the Forza of it all, Lucius, sir, I know you've been playing. You finished, if I'm not mistaken, you recently finished Crimson Desert. Like, put that to the rear view. Want to speak a little bit more to that, or any other games you want to speak to?
Yeah, so a couple games that I've been playing. Like you said, I finished Crimson Desert. That took me, just based off of the way that I play the game, it took me about 300 hours.
Sounds about right.
Jesus. Damn.
Now, I obviously could have been way earlier, but I was doing.
Tell us if you had a girlfriend before you started. Tell us if you have a girlfriend after you finish.
Single before and after. So I didn't have to dedicate my time towards anybody else. That's the only reason why. 300 hours. If I had a girlfriend, I would have had maybe 100 at most. But yeah, like the Crimson Desert is very good. I still question some of the people that, you know, they said that the game is boring, because boring where, right? I honestly have no idea. But anyway, especially I won't say specifically, but the last 3 chapters, like 10, 11, and 12 of the game go by pretty quick. And I only say that because, like, chapters 4 through 7, around there, those took a long time. Like, you have to do a lot of different things inside of the game to be able to get past those chapters. A lot of things happen. And then by the time that you get to the end of the game, it's just all bombastic action, the most cool stuff I've ever seen in a video game, back to back to back to back. So shout out to Crimson Desert, fantastic game. If I ever have some time, I might go back and clean up a bunch of other stuff, because there's a few missions here or there and stuff like that I could finish. But outside of Forza Horizon 6, there are a couple games that I'm dipping my toe in to try to every now and then try to get further in it to beat. Pragmata, incredible game so far. Capcom seems to be having a legendary year. If it wasn't for GTA 6 coming out at the end of the year, like Capcom has multiple Game of the Year quality games that came out over the past couple months. Pragmata is definitely one of those. Resident Evil, the most recent Resident Evil, seems to be getting a lot of praise as well. We have Onimusha coming out in about a month or so. I believe, actually, it might be coming out this fall. I don't exactly remember when it comes out. And I also played Monster Hunter Stories 3 earlier this year, another Capcom game, and I loved it. So there are an incredible amount of different experiences that you're getting from Capcom this year. So shout out to them on that. But there are 2 small games as palate cleansers every now and then that I've been jumping into. One game called Black Jacket. It's a blackjack game, but in the vein of a Balatro, where you're going to have different cards that do different.
Yes, speak to that a little bit, bro. I saw that on Gamepass, and you know how we all went crazy about Balatro. This looked like it was taking that kind of energy. Is this worth the time? What do you think?
It is definitely worth the time. The first few matches, you're definitely going to lose because you don't really understand how, but everything happens very quickly. That's one of the benefits of this game type as a roguelike. Like, even if you lose, you're losing within like 5 minutes. So it's not an issue of like your first few rounds, you're going to understand how things go. You're not going to be wasting your time. You're going to see how things move. And one of the good things about you could say that this is a good or bad thing, right? When you first start your run, the first game that you play is always very easy. It like the game is trying to get you past that that side of it, getting past the first game, so that way you can get to the others. And the way that that person plays also teaches you, okay, this is how I do X, Y, and Z. So, and it happens every single time. So you don't have to worry about your first game. It's going to be relatively easy. But I would highly suggest, if you are into roguelikes, if you are into deck builders, if you're into story-based games, because this does have a story, unlike Balatro. I highly suggest picking this up. This is one of those palate cleanser games where you jump in between your 100, 200, 300 hour experience game sort of thing. Give this thing a try, and it will definitely, especially if you have Gamepass, like you have nothing to lose, right? It's just a little bit of your time. Give this game an hour, and an hour is like 5, 6, 7 different runs, right? So and by the time that you're on your like 3rd or 4th or 5th run, you're really understanding the game, and you're getting further and further and further into the fray. So yeah, like I said, very much suggest it. And then the last game that I'm playing kind of as a palate cleanser that I would suggest is a game called The Fable. It is a manga build roguelike. So you have a manga panel, and you are choosing specific things on that manga panel to be able to move forward and back and to attack enemies in different capacities.
You do realize, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject, but you do realize that name is a terrible name for SEO. It's Fable.
So yeah, I understand.
Like, forget about it. What are we talking about?
The Fable is an actual manga / anime, and it's about an assassin who just wants to be a normal guy. So he like goes and retires off into like a small village somewhere, but trouble keeps
Please,
find him.
If you can, try and find me some footage, because all I see is Fable, obviously.
Yeah.
I can never find The Fable. All I see is old school and new school footage of, you guessed it, Fable. And while you do that, let me welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the late one. When he's here, the fun can get started. What's going on, Mr. Everborn?
What's happening? Especially to Steel Rain and Lucius Augustus, 2 guests that we have today. Long time, brother. Long time. Lucius, I see you every day, so it is what it is. But Steel Rain, it is a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Of course, pleasure to be here, man. Love y'all.
Thank you. Hey, did you guys go?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. I
was gonna catch up on a couple super chats, but go ahead. You first.
No. You do that. I was just gonna wax poetical about the game I'm playing this week.
Oh, you're next, sir. You're absolutely next. Before you do, first we have the great Sith Lord. He's been a member for 25 months. He says, "Sad weekend after Kyle Busch's death on Thursday." Hashtag number 8. Kyle Busch, for those who don't know, stunt car racer, NASCAR racer. Unfortunate, situation. Rest in peace to him and his fam and all that. And, thank you, Sith Lord, for being a great member of our community. He's always promoting us. Appreciate you, Sith Lord. Thank you so much. And we have, of course, the legendary Yobi with a $10 super chat, and he says, "Wait, hold on, the legend Steel Rain is back in the building." You are surely missed, my guy. Welcome back, King. Your throne awaits you, sir. The podcast team misses your presence. Hashtag raw and live, raw and uncut.
Appreciate you, Yobi. Much love.
Steel Rain, shout out to the great Yobi. But yes, thank you for being here, everybody. And Everborn Saga, thank you for joining us once again. Lucius, you were saying that you wanted to show us The Fable. I need to see this game called The Fable, because I swear to you, all I see is Fable. Oh, and he has provided.
I put a video in there on YouTube for YouTube. Just click on that. Go to around the 7-minute mark. it's kind of hard to
7 minute.
describe.
Okay.
And when you first start playing the game, it's
All right,
like
well,
you don't
let's
really
show them the script first.
you don't understand it super well, but it's just you have a sheet of paper and a bunch of different panels that you can choose based off. Go to around the 7 minute mark.
Okay, about to go there now.
And based off of the things that you're selecting, you see how like he's choosing different things to do, and there are two enemies.
Damn.
You, and based off of you're punching, you're shooting, you're moving either forwards or backwards, or you're turning around, and it's gonna be you're doing all these things based off of what the strategic situation is, and you're gonna have holes in your paper when enemies attack you, and so you have to go around those holes or patch them up depending on what resources that you have, and then after you figured everything out, you choose move, and then your character does all the things that you told them to do.
I see what you're saying. This is kind of oh my god, Katana Blade Zero in a way, where you do all the things, and then when you're comfortable and ready to go, you hit done, and then it shows you doing all the things. That's pretty cool.
And the point is that like
terrible name though. Terrible name. Come on now, we'll never find you.
The SEO is
this is an awesome idea.
Yeah, like it's very unique. So if you like roguelikes, if you like the idea of being kind of like a Yakuza assassin bad guy thing, it's a cool game. And like I got it pretty cheap on a Steam sale. If you look in the necessary places, I'd imagine you'd be able to find it too. But yeah, every single thing has a certain combination, right? Like you just saw how he's trying to shoot somebody, but it says, hey, you don't have a bullet, so you have to reload your bullet first before you have the ability to shoot somebody. So that's every single aspect of the panel has some level of strategic thinking that you have to do. So it's a roguelike, it's also a strategy game, it's like it has a lot of cool elements to it. And
it's got some depth. You can definitely see it.
Outside of this, it also has a puzzle mode where it's very much like this, except you have a very specific amount of items, and you only have one move to do everything that you need to do. So it has to be a very specific combination of things in a specific order for you to be able to do it. Little brain teaser. If you like those sort of games, this one's great.
Yeah. So this reminds me, only game that I can remember, I recall that has somewhat of this style. There was a John Wick game that was made some time ago. That was a strategy game where you're basically walking through combat, but in a very strategy step-by-step way. And this is somewhat similar to that style, where like it is a move for move kind of way, and you only have X amount of steps to get all your obstacles traversed. And he's shooting this person in the head and sweeping the leg over here, and then at the end you hit done, and it does all of that. I think what's the gentleman's name? Mike Bithell. Remember Mike Bithell? Thomas Was Alone. His team made that game. Also super interesting. Has the same kind of flair here. Very, very unique take on this. I will definitely add it to the list. It is called The Fable. Super unique concept. I like this. This is very cool. I can see this being added to other styles of game as just a method of getting through the world. It's a very interesting thing. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's what it was. I see Jack Riley mentioned it. John Wick Hex. Exactly. That's the game I was thinking of. Not exactly the same gameplay elements to get there, but it's the same kind of thought process around it, But needless to say, any other games you want to bring up, Lucius, or is the last one the one we expect it to be, which is Fable? I mean, I'm sorry, Fable. Forza.
Yeah. Like I'll keep the Forza to the general Forza discussion, but yeah, the game's great.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Mr. Everborn Saga, I know that you have not been playing Forza. You have been Mr. Ice skating uphill guy. So,
Forza to me is like Grand Theft Auto. Like I recognize the greatness, but it's just not my type of game. And when I tell you what I've been playing this week, that will make it all make sense.
Okay. Well, sir, tell us the games you have been playing this week.
All right. So number one, I finally completed Pragmata this week.
Nice.
And again, I don't have to repeat this, but it's a very sort of game 360 era. No,
how many hours did you clock in when you were done?
I clocked in. So Steam tells me 16, but the game itself tells me 13. So there's probably some time on pause screens or whatever where I fell asleep. Because as I've explained many times, my game time is after the kids and the wife are asleep. And I still got, however much I game, I still got to get up at 5 a.m. So
what you're doing is it's a process of fighting old man nature and gaming, aka falling asleep at the login screens many times.
Exactly. And so I hear you and Lucius say things like, "Oh, this new game came out. I got about 45 hours in it." And I'm like, it would take me 3 months to get to 45 hours. I do an hour or two a night when I play a game.
Secret. Let me tell you a secret. This is why I have consoles. I have big dog PCs. This is why I'm a handheld gamer. I can always just pick it up, hit unpause, play for a couple minutes, and then pause it again for between my next call. You know what I mean? And when somebody's talking all that smack on the conference call, I'm just muted playing my games, bro. That's how I get the numbers in.
Yeah. There's a project happening at work right now where it's like, you know when you're like, pardon my French, but balls deep in a new project, and then they're at your part of it, so it's like you got to be the one attentive to everything.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things where I can't coast in my meetings for the next couple of weeks until we get to a certain level in the project, and it's on other people.
Shout out to the great nerds and other legends laying it out. Facts, good sir.
Yes. But to get to the point, I finished Pragmata this week, and I really love it. The story was whatever it was. I don't really care. I think the ending had some poetry to it, but as far as just the game and the moment to moment and how you level up, visuals were great. It's not super flashy, but flashy enough to make you feel all the special animations, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. I thought it was great. And I'm sure the budget on this wasn't like a Resident Evil style budget. So I think we need more of this new IP, small experience, but not too short. And you still get very high production value, right?
And those 13 to 16 hours, you're not one to do.
No.
So this is mostly Golden Path.
Mostly Golden Path. And again, another thing I like about this game, there's a list of things that you can get in each level, meaning, all right, there's this much upgrade coins, there's this much leveling up there's different currencies in this, but it will it's this amount of weapons are here, or keys are here. So they don't tell you where they are, but they do tell you whether you've missed it or not. And I just think that's great about the game.
Okay, I think the key question to this though is, did you feel like more of a dad after you beat this game?
I don't think that's possible.
Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
I'm just curious. It seemed to be a talking point for people. So
this seems to be
that was a talking point for people that don't have kids.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty
quite obvious.
That is a single man's perception of what having a kid is like.
Oh man.
By the way, forgive me, but I have to recognize this because man, oh man. This is probably the funniest chat all morning so far. Shout out to the great Doc. He says, I see the title. Y'all better be on the right side of this argument.
Listen, some of y'all are not gonna like me, but it's okay. Take this man. Take this Robitussin.
Lucius, I heard me and you might be on the same page on this, but when we get to that part of the discussion, we'll see where we stand. You know who we need in here? We need if VG Fight School. If you are listening, we need.
Okay,
so
shout out to VG. If you're here,
you come later.
You know the invite link. It's still active.
I'd love to have a discussion with you now. The other game that I'm playing, and I have to give a shout out to MJ Dark, the president of Nintendo, as it were. I knew this game was coming out. It was already on my wish list, but I didn't know it was out, and he reminded me. So didn't tell me about the game, but he did remind me it was out. So I do have to give him a shout out on this one. Bubsy 4D.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I heard y'all talking about this. Tell me why I need to pay for this game, bro. Tell me.
So first of all, it's like $16, which other people would have charged you.
But it has the Bubsy IP.
I
understand. Like the subject of memes forever and a day. Tell me why it's actually a good game.
Sorry, there's a bee in my room, and I don't know how it got here. And now it's trying to attack me. But so if I go on mute, it's because I'm pulling out the shotgun and shooting it. Yes. All right. So anyway, but yeah, it's cell shaded. It's a 3D platformer, and it like the movement is so smooth. And again, it's like 90s humor, but like very dad jokey. But again, it harkens back to those days of a Crash Bandicoot when it first came out. But again, it's more 3D than that. It's these are more open levels.
So let's get to some gameplay and take a quick look here. See what it looks like here. It's a lot of
I did have to remap all of the buttons.
For real?
Yeah.
Also,
no. I mean, they're fine, but like
we know this guy. We know how this guy.
Oh, exactly.
Face button. The attack thing.
Yeah. So no. This is like the practice level. So technically you're in VR here. This is not how the game looks.
Yeah.
The environments are very lush, but it is cell shaded. So this is one of the levels here. So this harkens back to what a Bubsy game would have been if they went 3D back when 3D was just kind of burgeoning, right? But to me it works, right? It has all the nostalgia. It is, and like he is the stick with the game is that like he's still stuck in that 90s phrase, so he doesn't know what a lot of things mean. Like in the settings, he'll tell you, why are you pausing it now? Is this too much trouble for you? And he's like, what is you know what I mean? Like what is remapping buttons mean?
What is that?
Yeah, exactly. No, but he'll literally say this while you're in the pause menu. Right? Like that's pretty great. Breaks the fourth wall.
So they struck that balance really cool to remind you of what it used to be while still giving you good gameplay. Cool.
Yes, and I do like the level design. It is fun, and it's fun to where you'll have fun with it, and you can give it to a kid, and they'll just be able to instantly like pick it up and play. So again, it's a great endorsement. Like old school 3D platformer, but like it works. And again, they're not asking $50. They're not asking $70. They're asking $16. So to me, like this was a no-brainer. I'm probably just gonna finish this thing. The other thing I've been playing this week, and Lucius, I understand where you're coming from now, because Alabaster Dawn is the only game I want to play right now. But then I saw a dev update, and they just did an update for 2.0, and they literally say there's a lot more story coming in 5.0 and 8.0. So if you care about the story, you should wait for those. And I'm like, come on, man. The gameplay loop is so good. I just want to play it. I want it. The story's good. I want to see it. And then they're literally telling you wait for 5.0 and 8.0. And it's just like, I wish I could just play this whole thing now.
Yeah,
I have no complaints about the game.
Oh, the game's incredible.
Yeah.
I just wish I could play it.
Yeah.
What I would actually tell you, everyone, and I've come to this realization. And by the way, look at the black people, the way they look. It's like amazing, beautifully looking rendered. Anyway, what I've come to realize with this game is, if I really want my fix of Alabaster Dawn, I need to go play more crosscode, because this ain't ready, right? Like you to the point of the story.
No, but it is ready from a gameplay standpoint.
Yes,
right?
but it's just
the world is not fully there. Like they're adding new biomes, they're doing all those things. So I heard there's like 6 hours of content, right? And again,
and shout out to the great Infinite Umbra saying exactly the same thing. Yes, he's absolutely right. No Rest for the Wicked has the same problem. It's so well realized. It's so on the cusp of greatness, but you don't have content complete. So eventually you hit a wall.
Yeah, and I don't want, and they're saying certain things might be reset. And so if you're there for the story, you should wait.
You never know if your saves will carry over because eventually they may reset everything back to normal.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for, like, maybe I don't have to wait to 1.0, but according to them, you might want to wait until they get to 0.8.
Yeah,
0.5 is a big story update. 0.8 is another big story update, and between that, they're adding more weapons, more biomes, more content. But the game feels very feature complete as it is now. So I don't want to take away seeming like it's one of those things where it's early access and buggy. It's not. And it feels so good to play. And my biggest complaint is that I can't play more.
Yep.
So I do recommend everybody look at this game though. So because it is
Alabaster Dawn, man. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic game. For the console gamers among us, yes, we know you may not have access to it now. It is in early access. It will eventually come to PC. I have no doubt because this game is going to sell all the copies. Consoles. Yeah.
I just want to say this podcast saved that B's life because he landed right on the mic while I was talking, and I was going to punch the mic, but I was in the middle of a sentence.
Man.
And so now I'm standing up doing the podcast, waiting for it to rear its ugly head so I can attack.
Okay, so before we talk
this is war.
I can imagine, and Everborn Saga, as I know, is a man who's very, very cautious with his allergies. So bees, that is World War III. All right, you'll be careful out there. Anyway, because you provided us with a recommendation from the one great MJ Dark, I too must provide a recommendation from the one MJ Dark. Before we get to
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Got his ass.
Oh,
I hit him with the fly swatter, then knocked him on the floor, and then stomped him out. He's gone.
Jesus Christ! What are we doing?
Castle doctrine, baby. You don't walk in my house thinking you coming out alive.
Everyone said, "Not in my house."
Not in my house.
Not today, Satan.
Oh boy! All right. I
feel also just shout out to Everborn Jr. Today is his 25th birthday.
Oh yeah!
Shout out to I'm gonna have a hard stop at around 12 o'clock because I got to catch him because 1 o'clock he's going on to do his grown man business. So I only have him until 1. So if we're still going at 12, I'm gonna have to see you guys next week. But 25, this does make me feel old, but you know,
yes, sir, as you should. Okay.
Well, we definitely need to get to the topic by that time.
Well, yes, and we will operate as quickly as we possibly can. Real quick, if you guys ever remember, if you recall, an old franchise called Hunt Down. It was an old game. It's been out for some time. There's been another game in the franchise. I think I played on PS4 way back in the day. Very interesting pixel art kind of style. Almost lightly reminds you of some of the style of Replaced. They have a new game out called Hunt Down Overtime. I recommend from the great MJ Dark, and I've been I'd say a few minutes into 30 minutes, almost an hour, but it's really fun. It's a really old school, as you would imagine these kind of games are. Let me give you a quick idea of what the gameplay looks like. You can imagine this being like the Punisher or something like that. It is real cool, but it'll kick your butt. Like they're not for play.
Kind of looks like Replaced.
Kind of. See, it has the Replaced kind of style a little bit to it. Yes, but it doesn't play anything like Replaced. It's not the Arkham combat you think. This is like run and gun. You as you can see, you get different.
What is the name of this?
Hunt Down Overtime. Yeah, and you're like a bounty hunter.
I might have to cop.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Old school aesthetic, as you can see. They're using that old school aesthetic to really great degrees. It's really fun. But it's got depth in its physics. It's got depth in all the things you can pick up and the amount of different kind of combat elements you have and the weapons you get access to and the various type of move sets you get, stuff like that. Oh, and just like that, we summoned the man has joined us. $5 super chat from the great VG Fight School. He says, "My Gen Alpha students taught me how to play MLB The Show. I'm hooked because of MLB Wanted. Okay.
Hey, VG,
Hey,
I don't know
MLB.
if you heard. I don't know if you heard us earlier, but we would like you to join us for if you have a few minutes, because
Please.
as you know, I'm an avid watcher of your channel, and I've seen some of the debates for this week, and I think I found a hole in your argument, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. So come through if you can, because I like steel manning arguments. So if you got some time, come join us.
And of course, as you know, once you have the access to the GCP invite, that invite never changes. You are always welcome to rejoin us, so you know what that invite is. But yes, before we move on, Hunt Down Overtime. That's the game you're looking at on your screen right now. Old school in the best of ways. I actually got to this boss already. It's actually pretty good. I got a couple of them. You're a bounty hunter running around, trying to smoke some dudes if you can handle it. It's very hard, but yes. Real fun game. Check it out. Hunt Down Overtime. All right. So before we get into all the machinations of the gaming news, we got to spend some time talking about Forza Horizon 6. I say this because I know definitively that Lucius, myself, and Steel have been playing it. Everborn, I know you've been playing other things, but man, I got to tell you, like, as a guy who doesn't normally play, I'm not normally maining multiplayer games. It's just not what I do. Got little ones, very busy life. It makes it hard to claw out time to dedicate to doing that. When you, on the rare moments when you have the opportunity to just like hang out with a bunch of people in a group, just like tearing around a virtual city, it is so fun. Forza Horizon 6, man. Who wants to start this off? I guess Steel Rain. As you said at the top of the show, that's how we reconnected, right? You found us in Forza. You joined the convoy. We had some playtime. Tell the people your experience with Forza Horizon 6, sir.
Forza Horizon 6, man. When the initial trailer was shown, I believe at the top of the year, I had some negative stuff to say. When it was initially shown, I didn't feel the most confident as far as the ingenuity that they were going to bring to the game. Again, you're bringing Forza to Japan, Forza Horizon specifically to Japan, and I wanted more of the street underground type aspect to come into the game. I didn't want it to be an expansion. I didn't want it to be DLC. I wanted it to be the one thing that they stood out to make a difference this time around, especially just taking advantage of where we're going to be at, right? Now I still have some of those things, and I still have that negative aspect to it, because I
agree with you on that.
There needs to be more customization in this game. I'm not expecting for Forza to all of a sudden become Need for Speed or whatever the case may be, or whatever other game that you want to throw in that list, but I did want them to take that additional step out. You know what I'm saying? I get that, oh man, you can customize your garage, you can create this massive kind of city around you, kind of thing, and use all the tools that they have there. And as cool as I think that some of that stuff is, and I haven't got to play with any of that, I'm more so on the driving aspect. I'm the guy that plays racing games on most games, not just racing games, on the hardest difficulty I possibly can. I have to turn everything into a Souls experience, for whatever reason. It's my own thing, but nonetheless, Forza Horizon
and Steel Rain, I'm the opposite. I play most things on journalist mode.
Look, and that's absolutely fair. Hey, that's absolutely fair. Gone are the days where I'm critical of folks who play on the easier difficulties. You got to play on what makes you.
Hey, I game to have fun.
I do the same. And that could be a different argument. You know what I mean? That could be a different combo. But again, you got to play for the reasons that make you feel like you're enjoying the experience the most. So, nonetheless,
and I'll interject and say, Steel not only plays on the hardest difficulty. He plays on the hardest difficulty. He plays with a claw-style controller. He plays in claw style. If you don't know what that means, go look it up. And every single time we race, not even close, every time, the closest I came was second. That dude is always first. Damn. Continue, sir. Continue.
I'm working on it. I am one step down from unbeatable just because previous experience with Forza Horizon games, and it seems that the issue is still persistent in this one as well. The AI, they still need to do more AI work. At least from what I've noticed so far. I don't know what it is, but some in other games do it better. I think they did it well with Motorsport as far as the AI being able to at least be more reactive to what is going on with the race. It seems like even in this one with the Horizon games continuing, they continue to be more aggressive than ever before. They will knock you off the road. They don't care about what racing line that you're taking. They don't care about anything. And even especially when you're getting into the higher difficulties. Now I get, they want you to tune your cars and they want you to be competitive and all these great things, but there also becomes like a certain point where it's just like some things are just unrealistic. Like you're talking about, I got a top of the class car, and for whatever reason, I can never get that car that's in first place. Right? It's like 30 seconds ahead of everybody else in the pack, and you have to not only find the best racing line to possibly you can ever find throughout your race, but you also have to somewhat cheat the game or find steps where the AI makes mistakes so that you can take advantage. And at some point, it just kind of becomes cheesy in that way. And Forza, it seems that, and the Forza team seems to have now acknowledged, the Playground has seemed to acknowledge it as well, says that it is something that they're looking at. But again, these are the things that as a Forza player, that you notice. Again, seems to be better in Motorsport, and now with Turn 10 seemingly not working on a Motorsport for the foreseeable future, hopefully they can bring some more work into the AI side of things for Horizon to make that experience a bit better for people, because that seems to be the main complaint that I've seen from people. And again, when you're playing on harder difficulties, I expect for it to be difficult. Punish me for not taking a corner right. Punish me for not braking right or braking too late or making mistakes. I get that. But it just seems like, and this is the one thing that I always take away from Forza. It's one thing if we're online and I'm racing people, for me to expect for me to have the best car in the game for this specific class. I just feel like in single player, at least, you're causing people, especially your normal consumer or your average player, to have to do research or pop up a Google to find, what's the best car in this class? What about this? Instead of kind of finding their way through the experience. So I feel like it takes a little bit of the organic nature out of the game. But other than that, I'm in love with Forza Horizon 6. I really am. I found my obsession with it again. Just flying through the streets of Japan, even through the countryside. It is extremely remarkable how well the game plays, how good it feels. The handling definitely feels better than ever. Again, I'm playing on simulation everything other than I keep ABS on, and I keep the braking line on because, again, time permits. I don't have all the time in the world to learn every map and be on point and turn my racing line off and be perfect. So I play with the braking line on. So it's just little couple assists there. But other than that, playing sim everything, and just from the sound to the way the cars feel to going from race to race and working your way up to that first place. Because again, I'm also somebody who likes to, if I don't get first place in the race, I'm starting the whole race over, right? So I'll do one race 10, 15 times and really learn what my mistakes are and learn the races that I'm going through. Because for me, somebody's been playing Forza Motorsports since the very beginning. And this is coming from somebody who also used to play Simulation Damage as well, which is even more punishing for those who are familiar. From those times, that's what I like to experience out of Forza. And it just tunes me more in, not only with whatever car that I'm driving, but also just with the environment and getting used to getting used to racing from the different style races that you end up doing. So I'm thoroughly loving it. Online play is amazing. Spec racing, them bringing that back into Forza Horizon is a phenomenal experience. If you're not familiar with spec racing, it's where, again, one of my biggest complaints was going online, and again, you're dealing with different people's tunes. Everybody's trying to use the best class car for whatever race. I like when you nail the experience down to everybody has the same thing. I like the same thing out of my multiplayer experiences, where I will always love Halo for what it is. But give everybody the same thing, and let's just see who the better, in this case, racer is with their driving skill. And that's what spec racing does. You have the same car, same tune. You just, the only thing that separates you is, are you the better driver? So been having a ton of fun with that. And yeah, jumping into the convoy, man. Other than the network issues, server issues that we were having, I don't know if they've hammered that out yet. I haven't been back online since I jumped on with y'all, but other than that, I mean, I wasn't seeing much rubber banding going on or anything like that, anything crazy that you may sometimes experience when you jump into multiplayer, where the core, you see the car in front of you and it seems like the car is kind of like, it's not smooth. It's like, it seems like they're jumping all over the place. You can't really
bopping all over the place ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually a network thing, but it seemed to be real smooth. We were able to get in, into a race together and everything. It did exactly what it needed to, man. So I'm loving Forza Horizon on every aspect so far.
So Steele, I will quickly say I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Actually, most of your assessment of it, including pushing them to lean a little further into the custom culture of the location. I feel like that is where, like, maybe some of us we're missing our need for Speed Underground. You know what I mean? We were hoping this would fulfill that need a bit more. We know it's not going to be that 100%,
right?
But leaning a little bit more into that nighttime, old, that aesthetic of it that we used to remember. I feel like they could go for a bit more.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
For DLC.
It's
Otherwise,
so let's lean into it. That's the main thing. You don't have to take it so serious.
Yeah. Otherwise, no, I really do agree with your assertion of the case. Excellent game all around. I'm having a great time with it as well. Lucius, sir, jump in, man. I know you've been playing as well. You've been having a great time with this thing. How much time have you spent on this so far? I know I started before you. Yeah. At this point, I think I'm way too far behind, but by your standards.
I think I'm like at least 20 hours in, something like that. Most of that time has been spent playing with the people on the Discord, just in a convoy, going around, playing different races, that sort of thing. And so I've leveled up faster than I typically would if I just was playing single player. So that's very interesting. A couple things that they've done in this game that I've noticed in comparison to the other game. The map of Mexico was beautiful, but I feel like it wasn't really functional when you were trying to get from one place to another. And it wasn't, one of the things that I didn't like about Forza Horizon 5 is that you had to pay money to fast travel. And this is no longer the case in Forza Horizon 6. As long as you have been on that road, you can fast travel to that road for free, no problem. Which means that getting 2 races, getting to two specific locations so that way you can hunt things down, it makes the entire experience faster and more fun without having like the cost, which felt punishing. Like, why are you punishing me for like fast traveling in this game? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense. So from a standpoint of, here are very particular changes, those things I really do appreciate. And most people may not notice them, but those are the small things that kind of smooth out an experience. And so I'm really enjoying Forza Horizon 6, but I just wanted to mention some of those smaller things as well have really increased my experience overall. And this happens every single Forza Horizon. a bunch of people jump in to play it, and they have network issues no matter what. I will say that this has been better than it has been in the past because I'm not getting booted out of games constantly like I was at the first few weeks of Forza Horizon 5. That got pretty crazy there for a little bit. But yeah, great time, great game. Unfortunately, will not win Game of the Year because he does not respect racing games in that capacity. But hey, it is what it is. It's a great game.
Shout out to the great VG Fight School who joins us.
My man.
VG.
Hey, good morning.
Before you put the gloves up, I know he's here. I know everyone asked you here to put the gloves up, but do you have any experience?
No gloves. We're having a gentleman's debate.
Listen, I don't know about you.
Okay.
But when it comes to that particular topic, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then
do you? But we ain't there yet. When it comes to Everborn, I didn't mean the gloves. I meant the gentlemanly handkerchief when he slaps in somebody else's face. You know what I'm saying? Like, before we do that, have you had an experience with Forza? What games you been playing this week, sir?
Hey man, racing games not really my forte. I played I played the intro and then I went to play Mortal Kombat. I don't know what it is with racing games these days. They don't hit as they used to in the Need for Speed days. So it's a good looking game. I'll probably go around and just drive casually around, and I think it's probably one of those things where I need the hook. I remember Need for Speed had that intro hook where you're driving and then the cop starts chasing you. Yeah. And then it's that was the hook for me, and I really enjoyed it. But Forza is kind of like, it's not that kind of a racing game, so it just hasn't resonated for me. Plus, again, I'm suffering from too many games, as well. It's literally a struggle. It's actually bad. And so what I've been hooked on is MLB The Show. Weird. I've been in America for like almost 20 years and I never understood baseball. I was like, what is this? I'm a soccer playing, loving West African. I don't.
My brother, speak, my brother.
And so, and basketball too. I mean, I watched Michael Jordan play as a boy, so I was always, smitten by the sport. And so we had like fun days in school. I said this on my videos, and my students, I took my Xbox to my classroom, and my students were playing Street Fighter, and I was smoking everybody because not letting these kids get one up on me. And so they looked and they saw my game profile. They were like, you play the show? I was like, no, I don't know how to play it. I actually bought it, and I wanted to learn how to play, but I never haven't sat down because the rules of baseball are kind of like a weird thing for me. So my students that are baseball players, they were like, we're going to teach you. So I was like, sure. So I sat there and they just were telling me the basic rules. They were like, all right, press this. This is what this means. And then they explained the sport to me. And bro, I have been jamming out the strangest thing. I've been playing baseball games all weekend. And so I got the other MLB games as well. I think I have 21, 2, and 24. And I'm gonna get I'm just gonna get the whole lineup. And me and my boys have been playing because I taught my kids all the other, soccer and everything. Because but now we're playing MLB. That's literally our game. So yeah, that's the weird hook, but it is, it is what it is.
That is awesome, bro. That is super awesome. As a West African brother myself, I used to play backyard baseball, like on Nintendo, old school Nintendo. That I remember. Huh. But yes, I didn't have such an affinity to it either. The later versions they're good, but I feel like sometimes they get overly complicated depending on how far you go in it. But it is a very fun sport. I appreciate you. It's awesome that your students were able to teach you how to do that. That's very, very cool. Very good. Yeah. All right. So okay, before we move on, we're gonna move on because I know the VG's here for a specific purpose and Everborn's on a short amount of time.
He only has an hour.
Yes. He's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time.
Oh,
for those who know, we're gonna move on to that.
Don't do that.
We're gonna move on. Sorry.
I need to go first. If you're gonna do that.
I'm not doing it. I just threw that out there real quick. Calm down. We'll quickly catch out a couple super chats. Shout out to the great Adidas 20 who's been a member for 23 months. He says, salute to you, good sir. Thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. And then it is Titanium. I think it is Titanium with a final super chat. He says, Ayo, brother, Steel Rain. I know he been in that Forza for sure. Obviously, he's in Forza.
Yes, sir.
There is just no way that man was not playing Forza forever, because when I played that man, I don't think he ever left the first position. I don't know how the hell he did that. One day we got to figure out how this claw thing works. I don't know how the hell you do it. Anyway,
Surprisingly, I don't play Forza Claw. I play it normally.
you don't. You play standard. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's cool. Okay. I've been tinkering with the wheel. We'll talk about that later. I love playing it with the wheel. It's really, really cool. Anyway, so all right, let's get to it. Everborn Saga. I know you wanted VG to come on and set things off. I have a couple conversations that I want to have, which we will, but I want to be respectful of your time. So how about you lead that discussion, sir?
Okay, so first of all, VG, thank you for coming, and thank you for
thanks for having me, man. Goodness.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking the question last week, and I know you made a bunch of content about it, which was great. So, and I don't want to misrepresent your position, but your position is that a lot of Xbox gamers are sore winners and they don't realize kind of how good they have it, and the exclusive argument that some of us are having to varying degrees is just sort of noise from online people who are envious of PlayStation. Did I get any of that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of how it is. I'm super verbose. There's a bunch of words that I can add to that, but at the core of it, yeah, I would say sore winners, in the sense that not just they don't understand how good they have it, but how much Xbox has basically become the better console ecosystem than all its counterparts. And yet nobody else acknowledges it. Like, no, it's insane. It's almost frustrating, because Xbox is so much more closer to Steam and a PC ecosystem, which has a lot of customer benefits, and even in some cases much more. Like some little things here, and I say little, but it really, and so when I hear some of the arguments, I'm wondering to myself, like, in any given scenario, this should always basically be the top priority. Like, how well is the customer getting treated? And I have to say it from the Xbox perspective. Like, say you have an Xbox, you play in the ecosystem, or use the PC store, you're treated like a first class king by Xbox themselves. Now everybody else, the media, some developers, they all just want to act like Xbox is this dumping ground. Oh, we didn't have time to prioritize the Xbox port. Like, they'll just say it out loud. Like, you dare say something about PlayStation like that, and then they blacklist you, right? Because PlayStation plays this Force game, and then the media plays this Shield PlayStation game. It's weird, right? And so that noise outside almost wants to contaminate what is already good and what is already benefiting the Xbox gamer. So yeah, that's probably one way I've always kind of visualized it that way. Maybe I haven't said it that way before.
No, it's a good point. And as you know, you and I agree on most of those things. And Doc Dark is right. It's called the Xbox tax, which we will talk about that when it comes to the Bungie situation. Because could you imagine if Xbox bought Bungie and it went that way, the way it's going? But anyway, we'll come to that later.
Don't give the preview yet.
Yes. Okay, but so my point is, in watching the videos, I think the piece that I think you're leaving out, and as you know, my position is not in favor of exclusives for the sake of exclusives, or even exclusive for punity's sake. Because I know that's what some people say. They say, well, PlayStation's doing it, so you should do it back to them. And that's not really how I feel about it. In fact, and I think Lucius agrees with me on this, I think the bigger thing that they need to do instead of exclusives is work like hell on the Xbox PC app and bring it to feature parity with Steam and their other competitors in that space, if that's the space they're going. That serves the gamer better than exclusivity. But I do believe that they can walk and chew gum at the same time. And if they still care to serve the console market, and console people are either casuals or they're stuck in the past, right? And whether they are right or wrong, their money is still green, depending on what country they're from, but you get what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're still spending money. So my position is that you need to acknowledge those people in some form. PlayStation acknowledges those people, and I'm not advocating for them to be like PlayStation, but PlayStation says, hey, we're going to give you 1 or 2 exclusives a year because that's how many first-party single-player games they do. Everything else is for the streets, as they say. So is it not possible that they can serve both masters and say, hey, we are going to take the hit on some of our games? Because only if you look at each of these studios as individual businesses that are not serving the broader conglomerate can you get to, if you're simple arithmetic, if you're not in more places, you're losing money, right? It's only if you look at them in a vacuum. But if you look at the broader business, and you can say, hey, if they have a $200 million marketing budget so that they can get more people into the platform, that is not a direct sort of, hey, dollars to donuts, I spent 200 million, so I also have to advertise on PlayStation. You say, no, I spent 200 million on advertising to bring people back to the platform. And if you know your customers have accepted games going to Steam, right? Because I know that was one of the arguments. They're not fully exclusives, but that's an argument of semantics. Their customers actually don't like games going to PlayStation. So my argument is, why not make an overture to say, hey, something like a Halo will not go specifically to PlayStation. I think they will allow the hardcore fans who are complaining about this, if you throw them a bone here or there, they will let you get away with the rest of it. And you can sell all the other games. You can sell the Overwatches and the Diablos and the Dooms and everything, and the Sea of Thieves and the Forzas everywhere else. But you say, hey, Halo's a red line. That's for you guys. Yes, we will take the hit, but in the long run, you're keeping those high value customers happy while you can sell the rest of your games. This is a $24 billion a year business.
I hear it.
And they have a marketing budget. So consider it as part of the marketing budget just to keep some people happy.
All right. I think that you are addressing one part of the argument while ignoring the
well, I'm specifically addressing VG's arguments in his content this week.
Okay. Then I'll wait until I get into my thing then. If the conversation that you guys want to have right now.
Okay. I mean, it's a very simple so, and I know this is my biggest flaw. It really is. Mr. Tunnel Vision. It's not just that. I mean, that one, shoot.
Some people don't like it when you do that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's this tunnel vision thing that when I find something, I keep hammering down on it until I figure out, okay, is this, maybe it fissures, maybe it cracks or whatever it is. And the studio business is what I'm really interested in. So lately, I've been hoping that we would have maybe like an Xbox executive that gets an interview that just leans into studio business in the most boring way possible, where you basically exhaust everything they can share within their NDAs, right? That way, I think a lot of gamers are going to basically get a good understanding of what the studio business looks like. Now, crazy enough, on this podcast with the developer of Replaced, you guys dabbled into a lot of that, and there were dimes and there were gems that were shared as he was talking within, the confines of what it is he could do, in terms of their studio, in terms of where they put the games and such. And the challenge with what you're saying is there's a real scenario where Xbox actually does that with maybe Gears of War. That's not been announced for PlayStation, right? Where they go ahead and say, okay, this game is just, they're not going to even say anything about it being anywhere. They're just going to say it's an Xbox game or whatever it is, and just leave it on Xbox as that game that takes the hit to maybe appease some fans or or fulfill that piece. The challenge, though, in the internal side is all of the other studios, because again, I'm not certain that Xbox does its business without this particular framework, which is every individual studio has its own profit and loss and its own financial health check at each given moment. This is why whenever something's going down, one studio goes. And the reason that studio goes is because of something that's not financially viable there. The initiative, they've been blowing a lot of money, and it's like, man, this is madness. And they just canned the studio. I don't know exactly all the, intricacies there. Because on a studio level, it's an individual studio that'll get closed, right? So what if, God forbid, Gears of War comes out at the wrong time or something happens in there and it bombs. So now we're gonna pull
the world there, Ricky Bobby. What are you doing? Come on.
we're gonna now go ahead and pull all these resources that we're making money from all these other studios into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do the studio heads at that studio actually consider the business when they're not giving the same opportunity to also go multi-platform? And so their metrics are going to be now different, which is fine because some studios, like, Call of Duty, the expectation for Call of Duty studios are going to be different from the expectation from, some of the other Xbox studios as well. But then, this is the next question. And this is the one I asked. I made a video about it and I wrote down all my crayon stuff. The question is, how long can that studio, or can two studios or a few studios continue to go without a healthy P&L in the overall business?
So, sorry. Well, land your plane, and then I do have an answer to that because I did see that.
And this is where the CFO of these companies who are not gamers, right, and have that obligation to ensure the health of the business has to figure out some kind of explanation. If, say, they see a correlation between, oh, look, there are all these gamers buying an Xbox to play Gears of War, even though Gears of War did not, that's all internal stuff, right? There are all these gamers buying Xboxes to play Gears of War, then we can now justify that the finance and the data people can say, okay, this worked this way. And they can say, yeah, that's actually a great outcome, for this particular, perspective. But again, you can you can say all kinds of things, but I'm just asking the question, how long and what is the business viability behind leaving a studio to, in a sense, take on a higher risk than everybody else? And the studio business is what's really affecting the exclusivity question. Because if a studio is not productive, they'll shrink the studio, ask Bungie, or they'll can the studio, ask the Initiative, or Bluepoint, or anybody. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the thing, because as much as they want to use the whole conglomerative cash flow to pump into the studio and kind of keep them going, there's only so long they're going to do it. Any company. And so that's just, where I'm asking the question, how are you going to pay for exclusivity? And then, yeah.
So now you, in the beginning, you made a point, and even last week you made a point, like, at what cost? And you said, well, are you going to like them to start making live service games? To which I would respond, they're already making live service games. But then serendipitously, this poll, which I think is a psyop, where it was sort of, will you give up Game Pass day one for exclusivity? And to that, Lucius and I looked at each other and we thought of an old quote, which is, those who would trade security for liberty deserve neither. Right?
And this is where I come in.
Yes. And by the way, before we continue, let
me be messy.
Real quick,
waiting,
gentlemen. I know, Lucius. Give me a quick moment. In our chat, I too have put up an impossibly stupid question. It is Xbox. It is exclusives versus Game Pass. Yes, it is simplistic. Yes, it is high level. Yes, there's a lot of ways to carve that. People want. What about both? I am not helping you weasel your way out. One or the other. Make your choice, right. Lucius.
I've been holding my guns in, but now I can't do it anymore. We gotta
go ahead, and then I'll come back to.
Gotta talk about this. One, we're gonna do a small side conversation about how Jez Corden needs to be slightly more responsible about, because like you know that Xbox executives are looking at these polls and stuff. Why frame it in that capacity? You are giving them an opportunity that you shouldn't, honestly. But fine, let's just talk about it honestly. You would have to be stupid to sacrifice Game Pass on the altar of exclusives. You would have to be brain dead. You'd have to have a hole inside of your head to believe that that's a good idea. And here's the reason why we're going to go through this, right? One, do you truly believe in your heart of hearts that Xbox is going to follow any of the promises that it makes to you? Truly. And this is
well, Lucius, I want you to include this into your argument, which is, were you in favor of them removing Call of Duty? Was that a good move for Game Pass?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because if this is what A-Rod said to me, if you were okay with that, that was the slippery slope that led to this poll.
Listen, Gamsley also said that to you too, but I don't think you want to give Gamsley any credit.
No credit whatsoever.
So let me finish my rant. Let me finish my rant. So at the end of the day, you'd have to be really stupid to believe that like Xbox would follow that thing. Let's look at the person who's supposedly going to make you that promise, Asha Sharma. And Asante did me dirty because I told him what my tagline was going to be, and then he said it earlier in the show. So never tell Asante your secrets, because he's gonna put it out there.
Show business, baby. He got to get the
crazy,
line.
It's crazy.
Go ahead. Crazy. It's not called show friends. It's called show business. Keep going.
The Asha Sharma, if you look at her history, she's had a great ability to be able to go in somewhere, fix the problem, and then dip. She's never been at an organization for longer than 3-4 years. And she's already been at Microsoft for 2. So what makes you believe that she's going to be here any longer? Asha Sharma is here for a good time, not a long time. Right? Okay. So I think that she came out. Microsoft is doing everything to cheerlead her and to get you to fall for the okie doke. I'm not saying the things that she's implemented so far aren't good, right? Like, I love the fact that if you're playing on Xbox PC, you now get achievements that are exactly like you would get them on Xbox. You don't get a weird Windows notification coming from the side. Like, that was terrible, right? Like, so there are certain things that her team is doing in a rapid capacity that I think is incredibly smart. I think is a very good thing. So I want to give her credit. But you would have to be brain dead to believe that any promise that she makes you regarding exclusives, but you have to give up Game Pass to be able to day one on Game Pass or something like that. You'd have to be stupid to believe that as soon as she leaves, Amy Hood, and I held myself back because I didn't say her nickname. That's for the Discord only. You would have to be dumb to believe that Amy Hood, a couple quarters
let me in,
show up. No, I'm finishing. I'm landing the plane. You would have to be dumb to believe that Amy Hood isn't going to come in and take all of those exclusives and put them everywhere else because she needs more money.
Preach.
And now you have no exclusives and no Game Pass.
Yeah,
congratulations. You played yourself.
Tell them. Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. Tell them again. I like the way you started. It's stupid. Start from that part of the sermon.
These people are so like
idiotic. That's right. Keep going.
They're so incredibly dumb.
That's right.
So excited. They are so hyped to be console warriors.
Tell them.
Won't stop to think for 1 second that you are about to cut your face off.
Sacrifice themselves. Keep going.
It is so dumb.
That don't make no sense. Keep going.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem, right?
I'm listening.
The people who are leading the conversation, they don't play games.
Facts.
They play
Facts.
Twitter.
They're non-gamers. Facts. Keep going.
These people are on Twitter constantly, day by day. That they waste time on Twitter instead of actually playing video games. You know, people who actually play video games.
Who?
We like Game Pass.
Facts.
Guess what? Because I'm able to play all these games
Tell me when he's lying. Tell me when he's lying. Keep going.
And I'm
I
saving
love.
money
Hold
while
on,
playing
Lucius.
all these games. Why would I want to give that up as a consumer? Why would I want to, bro?
So you can brag about a brand, right? Keep going. You got him.
I love that Doc Dark is the hype man in the background while you're doing the rap battle.
Welcome to Doc Dark. Welcome to Doc.
What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? Oh my God, that soliloquy was amazing.
People who actually play video
games. Oh, he's still going. He's still
on Gamepass.
I hyped him up too much at the point. He's still going. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm done.
All right. So we should be very clear about this, that this is not a real thing yet. This is a poll that Jez put up, right?
Absolutely.
And then
But
people,
this is watching, and we know it's a psyop. We know that Jez has been used by Microsoft in the past to be able to float ideas. No hate on Jez, because that also happens to what's his name, the British guy, the one with the only
Tom Warren you're talking about.
Tom Warren, there he is.
OnlyFans.
He's saying his articles are paywalled. He's saying
article.
You gotta be careful with
What are you
this.
talking about?
I'm bringing Discord jokes into the real world. Sorry.
Just really quick though, right? We do need to acknowledge that, because this, like, I understand where you're coming from, but we don't know what Asha's going to do. We don't know how long she's going to be there. And if you're reserved in believing anything, that's fine. But we can't say definitively she's only going to be there for 2 years. And this is not something that they are actually saying. This is something that Jez and the community is bringing up. So we should clarify that this is not a thing, is not a real thing that has been voiced by anybody in the SLT.
Okay, to offer clarity though, when people are talking about exclusives, what are you talking about? Exclusive to what?
That's fair. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, this is the other thing that I say. It's not that people mind things being in more places. I'll say it. I said this before. I'll say it again. People would have been fine with this is an Xbox ad if games weren't going to PlayStation. They're hardcore customers. Just don't like games on PlayStation.
So it's a PlayStation problem.
Their hardcore customers don't like games going to PC.
I don't care if
I don't know
game
that on the Xbox side. On the PlayStation side, yes, but on the Xbox side, I think people accepted PC and cloud.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
PC has been a part of Xbox for such a long time that if you are an Xbox gamer and you're so mad that games are coming to PC, brother, give it up. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. But I would not mind if every single game went to the Switch. Put every single game on the Switch too. I don't care, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't really care about the idea of exclusive. I'm playing on PC anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I have an Xbox, but I'm playing on PC. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for me. But even if I were to put myself in the frame of mind of like somebody who is a hardcore Xbox fan, I completely understand why they're mad that games are coming to PlayStation, especially the pillars like Gears, Forza, Halo, stuff like that. There was a while that's all that we had, and you're telling me that they're taking it too. So I understand the fervor from the Xbox fan. I completely understand it, but the idea of sacrificing Game Pass on the mantle of exclusives, you got to be stupid. Like, it's
That's facts. Say the word. That's the word of the day today. That's the word. Everyone's afraid to say it. That's the word. VG's not afraid to say anything. That's why I love watching his videos. That's stupid, VG, right? Say it.
No.
God damn it, VG. We have one job.
Wait,
VG.
listen.
Getting rid of a Game Pass is stupid.
See, this is my big. Wait, hold on, VG. Just give me 1 second. This is my biggest pet peeve in
it's all love, everyone. You know, I'm just playing.
I know, of course. But my biggest pet peeve in all of these exclusivity discussions is that people always talk about them as if it's a trade and it is a zero-sum 1-0 game. So if I were to, I think anybody arguing for full exclusivity is wrong. But on the flip side of that token, if you are a full multi-platform person, I think you're an extremist on that front as well. And so you can do the things that make sense for the streets. Everybody gets it. But that doesn't mean
Everborn, I know a pimp when I see one. You said a whole bunch of stuff and said nothing. I don't even know.
Listen, I'm being very clear.
You're talking like a pimp right now. You said a whole bunch of. You had me believing. I'm nodding my head, so I started thinking about like, what did he just say?
Hey, baby, listen. All I'm telling you,
Oh damn,
the world's in my hand.
Nice shoes, and you could get the nice purse, but remember where the money goes at the end of the day. No, what I am saying is, there is nothing wrong. You can have carve outs, and so it is a straw man to say if someone believes that some things are worthy of keeping off of your closest competitor in that vertical, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not keeping it off Steam because Steam is a partner of yours. But if you say in this console space where people have certain expectations to keep certain things off, that is not an argument for full exclusivity. It is a nuanced approach.
Let me let the Discord, our comment sections here into the conversation as well. Braided Wallace asked a question, just a question. Would you guys rather keep exclusives to consoles and get day and date games in Game Pass, but you have to pay $34.99 on the day and date games?
Why are you asking me to pay more money? What is
exactly? What's happening?
Why are we?
What is happening?
We pay what we pay right now and we get everything. Why are you asking me?
This is what I mean.
What was just said there, Lucius? That to me is the key, right? We live in a paradigm currently where all of these things exist. And now we're playing shuffle. We're shuffling the deck as if something has to go. Why must something go? There's no reason for that. But it's being spoken about as if it has to be one versus another.
Well,
the question in the first place is very dangerous.
Mr. Kirsande, the reason the question is framed that way is because we know something is going to have to give. It may not be Game Pass for the exclusives or whatever. We're just people that are expressing this already can sense that something's gonna go. You know, like my premise has always been the devs will go. Like they won't keep. Something's going to have to pay for something, especially in a financially, optimal. I wouldn't call them optimal, but at least they want to be financially optimal. Xbox. Right. So the reason people are actually putting Game Pass in there is because they know PlayStation doesn't have it, won't give it, and then do the exclusive thing. Nintendo doesn't have it, won't give it, and PlayStation pretends. That's my premise. And then Nintendo actually truly will stay in, for the most part, anyways, exclusive. So they don't have that, won't give that. So the Xbox gamer knows that the confidence that Microsoft has, based on what Phil Spencer set up with Game Pass, is that somebody will be paying. Like the cost of the game will also be realized in terms of his return on investment, breaking even by some of the Xbox players that buy, some of the Steam gamers that buy, and some of the PlayStation gamers or Nintendo gamers that buy. Yeah. But once you take away the ability for those games to sell elsewhere, then where is the benefit of you getting the game on Game Pass? Where is that cost going to be realized from? Where is Xbox going to reconcile that, that financial piece? And that's why they're framing the argument, because Game Pass is Xbox's best benefit. Facts. Every single conversation you hear about Xbox's ecosystem, even from the former execs all the way to some of the bitter developers, has been an attack and an affront against Game Pass.
That's facts. Tell him, BD. You cooking now? Tell him.
Layden, you have what's his name? I'm gonna call his name Weird West guy. You got guys from the media. I'm talking developers. You even have the High on Life guys throwing jabs at Game Pass because it's like, okay, it's a fun thing, no problem. But these cats are all over the place crying about like a service that benefits the gamer, saying, oh, like Layden's own. You know what? That one was kind of almost personal. It's like Xbox wants to wish it into existence. How anti-consumer can you be, bro? Right. Like, for you to want to go ahead and slander a service.
30 million Game Pass subscribers is somehow wishing it into existence. Okay, buddy.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So
Xbox tax.
The reason it is Xbox tax. The reason that they're framing the argument like that is because there's a perceived and a real threat of a loss of a major Xbox benefit if they were to go exclusive. And I think that's what I just wanted to go ahead and quickly caveat that. So back to you, sir.
Yeah, and VG, I will, and I've said this many times. it is only in the discourse around gaming where consumers argue on the behalf of the seller.
Oh my God, I hate that. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the
only place that happens, right? But that being said,
you like movies. Do you want to pay more for your movie tickets?
Listen, nobody is concerned with Disney's bottom line when they go and they sign up for Disney Plus, or they go and see a Pixar movie in the theater with their kids. No one talks about that. No one goes and buys a car and says, listen, man, if you just made this car less available and more expensive, I know you'll have a healthy business. Nobody cares about that.
Okay. Too many of us are agreeing right now. I don't like this. We need to
go. No, hold on.
Okay, hold on. Because you're changing the argument. You're changing what the topic is about, right? The topic is exclusives versus Game Pass. I need somebody to explain to me how my gaming experience is going to get better if Xbox starts having exclusives. That's it. Okay. That's all I want to know. Because if you could convince me that the Xbox going back to exclusives is going to give me a better gaming experience, then sure, get rid of Game Pass. But I don't think anybody could convince me of that. But go ahead.
But what we're not arguing, what we're absolutely arguing against, even the people in here who are in favor of some level of exclusivity, nobody's saying it should come. Hold on, I think Halo should be exclusive.
For what?
That's only you. There's only you. Who else?
I think Halo.
K-Santa's just being quiet. K-Santa, you haven't answered.
Let me rephrase that before VG jumps on me. Halo is not exclusive. It hasn't been for a long time, but it shouldn't go to PlayStation. Never. I don't like it. That is my version of an exclusivity argument, but that should never come at the expense of Game Pass.
Okay. You got, and you know what, everyone, I respect that because I saw VG's video where apparently you admitted that it's from an emotional state.
Absolutely.
Okay. An emotional man is a very dangerous man. So we gotta let that slide.
Listen. My dad, who grew up in the streets, he said a scared man with a gun is way more dangerous than a brave man with a gun. But anyway, the point that I'm getting at though is, yes, I am speaking from an emotional place. However, I am a customer, and there are many customers, rightly or wrongly, that engage in the console space from an emotionality standpoint, right?
No, not rightly or wrongly, wrongly.
Yeah, okay, so wrongly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's wrong. They still have their money to spend. So do you acknowledge them in their wrongness because you want to separate them from those ducats?
I don't acknowledge them. You know why?
No, you don't have to. But
because they're not enough
to acknowledge them.
Because they're not enough.
Hold on. When you say
that's why Xbox is in the position they're in. And Halo, Gears, and Forza used to be exclusive, and they didn't sell. You know when all these games became great? When they started going to PlayStation. All of a sudden, Forza Horizon 5 is amazing. No, I'm talking to the media. Listen to me. They've been great forever. But what I'm telling you, the perception of these games being great has been when they went to PlayStation.
Sure, that's the perception.
Yes.
But Forza Horizon 5 had 30 million players before.
Correct. And they're trying to act like it was nothing. But then when I went to PS5, now, oh my God, it's amazing. Same thing with Starfield. Have you heard any more Starfield slander since it dropped on PlayStation? I haven't heard it. I haven't heard any more slander about Starfield.
Well, that's because you're not talking to Gamsley, but I take your point. Now,
but you see what I'm saying? VG spoke about it. The perception of this Xbox tax and the media and the way things are being switched around. If games become exclusive again, automatically you're gonna hear the verbiage of, oh, it's fodder, oh, it's trash, just because it has an Xbox logo on it. Trust me, the Xbox. Listen. The ROG Ally X. Nobody hated the ROG Ally X until Xbox put their brand on it. Now the Xbox ROG Ally X is a problem. It's a more powerful ROG Ally X. Literally better in every single way. More comfortable, better battery, like a better chip. And then all of a sudden, people talking trash about it.
So, Doc. I hear what you're saying.
We have a term for that. It's called Xbox
tax.
It is, yeah.
I hear
Xbox derangement syndrome. But keep going, VG.
Well, I wanted Mr. Asante to continue his point because that was he was walking. If you can remember it, anyways.
No, I'm
jog
enjoying
his
the show,
memory.
so I lost
He'll
the point.
get it back.
Jog my memory.
You were
If I
answering
can.
whether you want exclusive or Game Pass.
You were making that. Yeah, you were making that case of exclusive Game Pass.
Oh yeah. I look. I appreciate a lot of the energy on this show today, and because a lot of the energy on this show covers my fulfills my frame of mind.
We got like the Avengers in here today.
Yes, this is the Avengers of shows, and my point is being made for me, so I have nothing to say. I agree wholeheartedly.
What a politician! What a politician!
This is why we call him
don't let him do that,
K-Bomber in the
VG.
Discord. We call him K-Bomber.
Okay, let me be straight. Let me be straight with y'all. I think it's ridiculous. Exactly like Lucius is saying. I think it's ridiculous to think that you can make that choice, and that's the choice you'll get to keep. Right? You have them all now. You have everything. You have everything you want now. It's in your hands, and they are basically. And let's be clear, as Everborn has said, no one is asking this. No one has really asked this. This is a bubbling from the consumer base that does not have answers, so they're filling it in the gaps in themselves. But the questions that they are asking is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't think it's even a question that should be asked.
Yeah, Sunday Paris says you're wrong.
Oh, please! I would welcome Paris to join us and tell us why we are wrong. I would love Paris to join us and tell us why we are wrong, because for me, genuinely, that service that people experience today is great, has always been great, and continues to be great, right? For me, that's not why I'm not there on that service, because the idea that that's the only place it can be. I'm there because it's convenient for one reason or another. And then when it's not convenient, I pick up and I move someplace else, handheld or console or PC, based on where my life is at that moment. So that's why, to me, that question of this versus that is a terrible frame. It's a terrible frame, right? I agree somewhat with Lucius, the idea of sometimes you need to be cautious about even asking these questions. Yeah, because it opens the door to ridiculous.
Now I do want to say
that evil on me, Ricky Bobby, is a real thing. You putting the energy out there is not good for you. Not all conversations are good. To have in a public space like that. And
shout out to the great Paris Lily. Look forward to seeing you in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. Now again, remember, Asha's here for a good time, not a long time.
We don't know that, but the thing
that's my premise, and the idea that you can make a handshake deal with her, and Amy Hood won't be waiting in the back to make the numbers make sense.
Well, stop the Amy Hood stuff. In general, logistics change on the ground, right? Yeah. We've seen this happen before, and it had nothing to necessarily do with Amy or anybody saying it. This is where Game Pass exists, and then it changed. Right?
Yeah, but if that is your argument, if dollars and cents is your argument, and I don't know that you're doing this, but you are in the way you are framing this, you are saying that dollars and cents don't benefit Game Pass. And therefore, they will not make more money with this Game Pass strategy, which I don't know that I agree with.
No, I'm saying right now they are.
You can trust the bean counters to count more beans. They're going to do what makes them. They're going to count more money
as much as possible. Right? But what I'm saying right now is, here's my main point: you have somewhere between 25 to 30 million Game Pass subscribers right now. Fast forward, even when we're seeing a large amount of Game Pass growth in PC, a vast majority of your Game Pass users are still on Xbox, right? So you are now you've trained that consumer base to be able to check games.
One moment.
I was say, do we know that?
Paris Lily, let's go. All right. Good morning, sir.
We've heard numbers a lot about a large number of their Game Pass subscribers are still on Xbox. Sure, the growth vector is PC, as it always will be. But if we're talking about raw numbers, which once again we can't really, because the yada yada. But it seems as if a vast majority of them are still on Game Pass. So by doing this exclusives versus Game Pass thing, you threaten to take away literally the best benefit for your Xbox users right now.
That's facts. Facts.
I just want to say one thing before Paris jumps in. My main premise, and this is why I wanted VG to come on, is I feel far too often we are pitting some level of exclusivity against all multi-platform, right? And And I think that you can do some level of exclusivity to make that portion of the market happy while still doing mostly multi-platform, because again, they have the IPs for it, and people fully understand. Again, even though I don't believe them, people fully understand when PlayStation says we're going to do one exclusive game a year and the rest is multi-plat. This is effectively what they're saying. They understand that. They know it's not the whole thing. So when people say some things should be exclusive, they're not arguing for full exclusivity. They're arguing for some of it. So why don't we ever discuss the nuanced approach or the potential of the nuanced approach? Paris, what up? And I respect you for laying off the Sonic slander.
Can you hear me? Okay.
You haven't done it in like a month.
We hear you, bro. What's going on?
So
man? Welcome.
So I will say first off, I'm breaking a personal rule where I said, hey, I'm gonna try to not be going on a lot of podcasts and things, as we lead into Summer Game Fest. I will hold my thoughts until then. But I saw Doc Dark was here, and I've never actually had a conversation with him. So I'm really only here for him. None of you.
God damn, I thought you came for me.
Wow.
What's up, Paris? What's up, brother?
Thank you for making us feel special, Paris. Thank you. Appreciate you.
and I will also be honest, I have no idea what the conversation has been or what the thought is, but it sounds like you're talking about exclusives versus what they would do with Game Pass.
No, I got you. Hold on, let me bring him in. He want to talk to me, K-Something. He want to talk to me. All right. Paris,
hold on, Doc. I just got to read Lemon 108 Dragons Super Chat. Paris has no games.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't. That's why I'm playing Redacted right now.
All right, Paris. So check this out, man. So there was a poll that was put up, but I believe it was by Jess Gordon, right? Saying if would you prefer to have exclusives if it required a sacrifice of Game Pass? Essentially, that's the gist of it, and that has split the Xbox community down the middle. Now, 99% of us on this panel here, or maybe 98, because somebody didn't fully answer, and the other person is clearly on the wrong side of things. I mean, on the emotional side of things, wants to go with the exclusive route. But everybody else pretty much is saying that it doesn't make sense to get rid of Game Pass for exclusivity, because I don't really think it's going to change the landscape of Xbox if they go ahead and start going exclusive now. But that's the whole premise of it. So what do you think? Is it viable to get rid of Game Pass to then have exclusive? Is that a smart choice from the gamer's perspective?
Yeah, so I'll give my 2 cents on this. And, I know people love to try and take me out of context and clip stuff partially of what I say. So hopefully they won't clip part of this. And
I'm getting ready to clip you right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm going to clip you too, Paris.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
ladies and gentlemen, clip it. Let's go.
Content.
So,
okay.
I have always said, from even in the before times, I really could care less where anybody plays a game. Play where you want. That has always been my thing. I have also said, I understand why there is exclusivity, because if you value the hardware, if you are trying to get someone to buy your box, you have to give them incentive to do so. So an easy way to do that is to say you can only play said game on this box. Now, we have gone through different iterations of this in the past 6 or 7 years of how this has worked. It's not like how it was traditionally. We obviously are starting to see a rollback of some of this, especially with PlayStation, with PC, which I do not agree with, but that's another discussion for another day. Xbox is flirting with it now. So here's where I think they're going to land. First of all, no, you don't give up. It's pretty clear Game Pass is not giving up day and date, or you're getting rid of Game Pass altogether for exclusivity. But I do, and this is my personal opinion, no one has told me this, I think you will see some exclusivity come back in some form, but not the way that most people would think. I could easily see games that wouldn't necessarily sell big on a PlayStation platform. Why are you even wasting the time and effort to port it? Just keep it there, right? But something like a Forza Horizon 6, and obviously we're seeing now with Fable, those things are going to continue to go there. And the big one, which I don't agree with, but you kind of have to, is Halo. I cannot see them putting Halo back exclusive to Xbox when, hear me, listen,
I was rocking with you, Paris.
Listen, you're not letting me finish. The multiplayer aspect of it. That's the big
Amen.
thing.
That's
you
what I
need to make sure you're putting that multiplayer in as many access points as you possibly can. That's the problem. So look, Halo, look, and I tweeted it the other day and I saw it blew up because even Matthew Ball responded to me on this. Halo, there is no Xbox without Halo, right? If there is, his job is to come to reinvigorate these storied franchises, right? Spartan 117 is priority one. That is their number one priority. Whatever they're about to do, Halo has to be the number one priority with that. Now, it is easy to say, just make it exclusive again. You can only play it on Xbox and PC. But then, as we're seeing, even PlayStation isn't dumb enough to say, well, we're going to exclude PC from our multiplayer efforts. They're going to do that. And they obviously Marathon and stuff like that is also on Xbox, Helldivers 2. Right. I think any game that requires an active community of people actively playing your games, you got to put it everywhere. You have to. Now, single player stuff, that is a different conversation.
But Paris, just you, just you though, Paris. Would you sacrifice Game Pass for exclusivity?
No.
Thank you.
I like Game Pass. And this is my point. Let me say this because people will get mad at me about this with the logo things and all this other stuff. I'm an adult. I can make my own decision on where I want to play. So seeing a game on another platform is not going to influence where I play. I get to decide that, but that is me. I'm talking me.
Hey, listen. And I would argue seeing somebody wear a PlayStation t-shirt is not going to influence them one way or the other. It's only going to piss off your fans, but that's not what we're here to talk about. My question to you, sir, is campaign involved. Does that have a multiplayer aspect?
Ooh, it does not.
It does not. But let's be real, Everborn. That was a decision that was made by the previous administration. So I think it's literally too late to reverse it.
One thing, Paris.
One second, Asante. I just want to drop my punchline. A drug dealer by the name of Nino Brown once said, "Cancel that bitch."
Don't do it.
Oh, man. Now, Everborn. Let me ask you this question. You just say cancel it, right? Okay. How much money and time and effort had already been invested into the PlayStation 5 port? And from a business standpoint, does that make sense for them to just cancel it?
Long hair.
That's what I'm saying. You're too far into the development cycle. Let's be honest. Whatever that PlayStation version of Halo campaign evolved, it's probably ready to go. It's done.
I understand, but nobody saw me saying anything about Fable. They could tell me Gears is gonna go, and you won't hear me complaining.
But some people will.
Put Halo.
Others will, though.
Yeah, others will, but we have to acknowledge that Halo is the core pillar of the entire brand, and it has been forever.
I've never publicly complained about the multi-platform approach. Yes, in the Discord. Yes, to K Asante on late night calls at night, but never understood the business aspect of it. I will never co-sign this Halo thing, but keep going.
Okay, Paris, let me ask you a question. In my personal opinion, when exclusives matter is truly at the beginning of a generation. So it would not make sense to really start doing the exclusive stuff now, but it would make sense to do some version of exclusives, even if it's just like a year or two or something like that, at the launch of Project Helix. Because if you want to incentivize people to buy Helix, having a couple games that are exclusive would incentivize people to be able to at least buy the hardware to be able to experience it at that level. Now,
I don't disagree.
That ship has sailed. No one's buying an Xbox for Halo, Gears, and Forza anymore. Not in 2027. Nobody. There's not the only exclusive that Xbox could have that would make a few people jump ship, and it wouldn't even be a good idea. Would be Call of Duty. If they remove Call of Duty off of everything, so you could only play it on Xbox, there would be a large amount of people that would go over there, but they would lose too much money. There's not a single Xbox game that's coming out that would make people go buy Xboxes and drones. The Project Helix is going to sell based off of its capacity. That's the most exciting thing about it. The fact that it's a console hybrid is going to have Steam and all that stuff. That's what everybody's excited about. A premium console. That's what no one's excited about exclusives on Xbox anymore. That's why I feel like you guys got to let that go. You got to let that go.
If I could chime in on what you both have just said. Again, if you remember, I think one of the last interviews Phil Spencer ever did was me asking him that very question. Well, if you're putting the games everywhere else, why am I buying your box? And he obviously, it was Helix. He didn't say Helix at the time, but he said it was going to do something that would incentivize people to want to buy the box. Now, we will see if that is going to be enough. Price, I think, is going to be a heavy factor into this on down the line. Now, to answer what Lucius was talking about, and I said, look, I said this on Kind of Funny a couple weeks ago, and they tried to clip it and take it out of context. But what I said was, if you are trying to sell that box, if you want people to buy that box in this current era, because again, I do not think they're going to completely reverse an exclusivity. The best you can do is not put games on PlayStation day and date.
Exactly.
And so you would do some kind of timed exclusivity. So in other words, the Gears, the Forza, like all these, sure, they will eventually come to PlayStation, but there will be a window of time where if you got FOMO, you better go buy the Helix box to play them, because that's the only place they're going to be at launch.
That's what I
think. I think that's the reality that Xbox is in right now. And look, I could be proven completely wrong in 2 weeks. Asha might come out there and say, you know what, F it, everything's back. I don't know until they say it. But thinking of it again, one last thing. I try to look at things logically. Logically, there's money being left on the table at this point. You have the genie's out of the bottle, the toothpaste is out of the tube. To completely reverse everything that they've done over the past few years, I just don't see it. Because again, let's just take Forza Horizon 6 as the example. Yes, it is doing record numbers right now. It is an amazing game. Of course, we all love it. Game of the year contender.
It would have done more.
How much? That's the point.
It would have done more if it was on PlayStation day and date.
You know it's going to do more on PlayStation. So are they willing to not have that?
They should have dropped day and date on PlayStation. You're right.
Hold on, real quick, everybody. Let me channel my NVG here. By that logic, right? Because it ain't on PlayStation right now. We should see Xbox sales go up, right?
There's another problem though.
What do you mean? That's my whole point. Exclusives are not selling consoles anymore.
I'm not pushing back against you, but the argument that the timed exclusivity is going to help them is timed exclusivity of Forza Horizon 6 helping Xbox sales right now.
I think that they are. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that we go all back to exclusivity. Like I said, I don't care. I'm on PC. I don't care. But if you're trying to sell the Helix to any degree, the first 2 years, I think that the games that you release for the Helix should only come to the Helix and PC. And if you are a PlayStation person, you are now incentivized to get that, unless you want to wait 2 years. But I think the first 2 years of that console's launch, it needs to incentivize some people to buy it. And then after those 2 years, I don't really care. You can put everything everywhere. You can put all the games but there are a couple games that have not been announced for PlayStation yet. For example, Clockwork Revolution. That doesn't have a PlayStation logo anywhere near it. And so because you haven't made a commitment towards PlayStation, and that game is probably going to come out around the same time as Helix, why not get games like that, games like State of Decay 3 that apparently is going to skip this entire generation, but games like that are going to release near the Helix anyway, give some form of exclusivity so that way people are incentivized to be able to buy the hardware, and then you can incentivize them with everything else inside of your ecosystem, right? But you need to get them to the front door first. And I think that at least at the very beginning of the console's launch, you need to incentivize people in every way that you possibly can. Are exclusives going to be the only way? No. But you need to take a multi-avenue approach during the launch, so that way you can maximize the amount of people that are coming into the ecosystem all at once.
I think there's a slight nuance to that, because exclusives don't matter anymore. They really don't. There's not an exclusive game that is going to come out that is going to sell an Xbox. Clockwork Revolution is not going to do it. Gears is not going to do it. Halo is not going to do it. These games are not what they used to be.
Those games are not going to do it. But a new IP that comes out of nowhere and blows blows everybody's mind, that game will 100% cause people to go towards that direction.
Do you know why? You know why I won't do it? And it's something that VG says in his videos all the time.
Nintendo Switch 2, Pocopia, Tamagotchi Life. There's a bunch of these games that are millions of, and our console sellers literally.
Nintendo's a different beast, though.
I understand that, but what
if Nintendo opened their doors and released it,
we can't say carte blanche that exclusives don't sell consoles anymore. That's not true. The exclusives that we know of may not sell consoles, but if a game is good enough and is hype enough, it will incentivize people to pull out their wallets.
Not to a meaningful extent. VG says this in his video all the time. The market is so saturated that if a game is not going to your platform, you just won't play it.
Right now,
and that's facts.
Right now,
that's the PlayStation PC argument I have.
Yeah,
into the generation, right? But this is a completely different conversation when a new product is going to launch, right? That if there's any opportunity to take advantage of any of that stuff, it is going to be at that exact moment.
Lucius, I would believe you and I would be on your side, brother, if it weren't in the generation that we're in right now. This generation is not going to end for a long time. These next new consoles, the PS6 and the Project Helix, whatever it is, they're not letting go of the Xbox Series X and the PS5. So all these games are going to be backwards compatible and everything. So there is not going to be anything to have you on board to their new hardware. The key is having you on board to their new ecosystem. That's the key. And if Xbox get you.
Can I say something about what Doc is saying right now?
1 second.
You wait 1 second. I'm the guest.
Damn it, Paris.
No, go ahead.
Damn it.
Look, so this important, and I want Paris, when you answer your question, to include this in here. No singular, this is from Navy Shadow, no singular game will sell a console, but a library of exclusives will. So maybe Forza wouldn't do it, but would Forza Campaign Evolved, E-Day,
Gamepass,
Fable, and whatever else, would all of those things together get people to look in that direction? And I'm not saying this as someone who's in favor of that, but if we're going to have an honest argument, we need to address that point. Please go ahead, guest. Paris.
I don't want to answer your question. I'm answering what I was going to say with Doc.
Damn.
I will. No, what I was going to be to the point with Doc, but I'll lead right into that is that's because I was just talking about this a few weeks ago. If you listen, pay attention to what Asha has been kind of saying, and this applies to PlayStation as well. These current Gen 9 ain't going nowhere anytime soon. All these games that are going to be coming out, I'm talking 2030s. You will still see games on these Gen 9 hardware, which is crazy. But the problem is current RAM prices, the inflated prices we're seeing as hardware, people are not going to be running out to go buy a PlayStation 6 or a Helix at these prices. They can't afford it. The economy is telling you, you better keep what you got. So that means they're going to continue to make these games for what you got. Now, Microsoft, and who knows, again, business-wise, financially, they could probably start subsidizing again if they're willing to take the loss. If they want to be a loss leader, they could make their hardware cheaper again. But I wouldn't hold my breath. And like I said, you're going to spend $1,000 right now on PS5 Pro. So what the hell do you think the PS6 is going to be? It ain't going to be cheaper.
It's not.
You know what I mean? So to the point of what Doc is saying, and with the whole exclusivity thing and all that, sure, you could try and make it exclusive, but you see right now, there are 90 plus million people that got a PlayStation 5 versus, let's be generous, 35, 40 million have an Xbox. So are you willing to lower your user base trying to sell these games instead of trying to expand it to as many people as you possibly can? And this is where, I'm just gonna be real with you. This is why I'm kind of tapping out, engaging so much on social media with people, because they argue this stuff in very bad faith, in my opinion. Why do you care who gets to play the game if you get to play it? That's my thing. So if from a business standpoint, from the health of this industry, if it makes sense to put games more places, freaking do it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I don't care about social media bragging rights with that stuff. And honestly, I'm straying away from what Everborn wanted me to answer. So please rephrase it again so I can answer it.
Okay. So well, the thing I will say,
with a slew of exclusivity games.
I remember now. to your point, yes, if you have a whole bunch of games that you can must play games that are only available on one platform, that gives incentive to want to go buy that, buy that hardware to play those games, of course. But I guess this goes back to what I'm saying at the beginning. This ain't 2016 anymore. This is 2026, and mofos are broke these days. They can't afford all this stuff. Yeah. So that's the problem that we have. It's affordability is the number one issue right now. It is not as easy as it was 10 years ago to buy multiple consoles. Right now, you kind of got to make a choice. You got to stick with it, because people simply can't afford to spend. Think about it. And I'll say this last thing. If you don't own a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox right now today, you're spending at least about $1,200. That's not mentioning you're getting in the X or the Pro. Just buying a PS5 and a Series S. By the time you buy both of those, the accessories and everything that you need, that's about $1,200. Tell me how many people can afford to do that.
Oh, you should have got a PC at that point. But listen, because I got to go, it's my son's birthday today. There's just three things I want to say. Number one, thank you everybody for coming here. Number two, GTA 6 will sell more consoles for Xbox and PlayStation than any exclusive they can come up with.
Fair.
Yeah. Facts. I agree.
And so will Fortnite and all these other games. And the last thing is I believe there is some value. They teach this in Accounting 101. There is some value to scarcity, right? And I understand we're in a saturated market, but there is some value to it. And so this is a calculus problem, and we cannot attack it with basic arithmetic. It is not just always for every game, no matter what kind of game it is, more platforms equals guaranteed more money that makes it worth what you lose in the mind share. Because if you were a person who only thought about dollars and cents and you only looked at speeds and feeds and you only did a cost benefit analysis, you would be gaming on PC. But the kind of person that games on a console, he is an emotion, or she. There are either casuals who don't care about this stuff, or they're hardcore people who have some sort of an emotional attachment. And those people spend a lot of money. And you said, Doc, earlier, there is not enough people. Now watch this. If he said only three things. This is like number 7. But keep going. Cool. I know. Look. I'm a person who, when I was on console, I bought 25, 30 games a year. Now you want to get rid of Game Pass? No, I don't want to get rid of Game Pass. Nobody here has argued about Game Pass. You came for that fight. You on that Game Pass? No, you said you want exclusivity over Game Pass. Wasn't that you? No, I didn't. No, it wasn't. Nobody said that. I just said I wanted Halo exclusive, but that's besides the point. And I didn't say exclusive. I said I wanted non-replacement. But again, besides the point. What I am saying is, if I'm a person who bought 25 to 30 games a year on Xbox, now I'm buying them on Steam. And they drove me away for whatever reason. It wasn't really because of the exclusive thing. It was just they were missing games. Yeah. And I went to the place where I could get the games that I wanted. Me too. It had nothing to do with exclusivity.
Facts.
Yeah, now, we went the same route. Yep. We went
exactly.
the same route.
So, but again, for whatever reason, if somebody leaves the platform to go to greener pastures and come to the PC waters of Lake Minnetonka, but if they do that, right? How many casuals do you on PlayStation or wherever do you have to replace the person with that used to buy 20 games a year? You're going to replace them with a person who buys 1 game a year. How many of those people do you need? So it's not a one-to-one to say, oh, there's not enough for you. A customer who buys 10 or 20 games a year is worth 20 customers who buys 1 game a year.
Facts.
So you do have. That's why I say it's a calculus problem.
Yeah, but there's
with just arithmetic.
But there's money in both, Everborn. There's money in both.
That's why you got to serve both masters.
I hate using the food analogy, right? But you can get cheap burgers at McDonald's, and McDonald's is doing perfectly fine. And then you could go to a nice restaurant and get that freaking burger that costs $23, and they're doing well too. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the point. Both can exist. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And the last thing, and I know this is thing number 10. But this is the last thing that I'm out on. People keep saying they don't understand why some people are mad that other people get to play games. And the reality is, the reason these, and I understand this emotion, but I'm trying to explain where the logic of where the emotion comes from. Those people that are on console, right? They watched PlayStation slap the food out their mouth so many times. Took games. They took Stellar Blade. For a time they took Black Myth Wukong. They took you name the other games that they
talk about. Money Had It games,
whatever. They watched PlayStation take games away from them, and now when Xbox finally has the games that they were waiting for, they put it over there. That is where that emotion comes from. Yes, it is emotion, and no, it doesn't make, a lot of it doesn't make financial sense. But that's where the place, these are highly engaged customers, and people like highly engaged customers because they spend a lot of money based on those emotions. That is where it comes from. So all I'm saying is you should, as a business, acknowledge those high value customers instead of saying you're just noise and we don't care what you think. No, you don't make everything exclusive. That would be stupid.
That would be stupid.
No, you don't trade Game Pass day and date. That would be stupid. But throw him a goddamn bone. All right, guys, I gotta go. I only got my son for an hour. I will catch this on the replay. It's great. I love that you all came. This is one of the best shows we had in a while. Sorry, K Asante, but we had all these people here. This was fantastic.
Slander.
We'll see you all in the Discord, and I will listen to this after the fact.
All right. Have fun, bud.
Look.
As soon as he leaves, I'm talking trash. As soon as he leaves, I'm talking trash. Is he
I'm talking trash. I'm talking trash right now. You'll hear this later. Sonic sucks. It's the Kmart of freaking video games. Mario is a better platform. Anyway, no, but to what he said, to what he said though at the very end, which is very true. Which is, I think this is why. Let me give the full context of this. This is why Asha is here, and if you look at her resume, it speaks a lot to this. I call her. She's the wolf. She's the wolf from Pulp Fiction. She fixes problems. If you look at her resume, this is what she does. She comes into an existing brand that has kind of lost some of its luster, and she reinvigorates it and brings it back up, to new heights. This is what she does. Phil Spencer could not do what she's doing right now, because if Phil Spencer was doing the same exact things, everyone would push back on it. Well, then why weren't you doing this the whole time?
The Phil Spencer tax.
Yeah. So you need a new voice to come in and be the one to actually enable a lot of these things that they're doing, because she is being celebrated for these things, right? Yeah. Versus, like I said, if the previous administration was doing it, everybody would get mad at them going, well, why'd you put us through the last 2 years then? You know what I mean?
Let me add to that real quick, Paris. So the thing that I see with her, right, and you can see player recognize player, right? You can see what she's doing. She's doing exactly what Everborn Saga was talking about. She's catering to feelings. Like all she did was change an Xbox logo, right? Oh my God, everybody's so excited. But hey, if it's working, if it's getting the Xbox community excited, okay, good to go. Then she went ahead and they rolled out that you could change the appearance of your Xbox dashboard. That's not a huge thing, right? But it's those small victories that matter little by little. Makes you feel different. You can customize the way your dashboard looks. Okay, you like that, right? Then the first thing that she did was she officially announced Project Helix, right? We already knew something was coming out, but she's the one that came, right? So all these things over and over and over and over again, it looks like there's a lot of abundance that's happening, but what's really happening is a lot of catering to feelings, which I appreciate. Xbox mode, that's real tangible, right? On my PC, I love it. Rolled it out. Oh my God, phenomenal. And then the biggest thing that she's done is the price drop of Game Pass. And even though it didn't drop back down to the $20 that we used to have it before, it still dropped down enough to where it makes sense. So everything that she's doing, catering to feelings, and then boom, here's something that's actual tangible, is genius. It's genius. So I'm excited to see what she's going to keep doing.
Let me speak a little, and I hate to do this because this is me agreeing with him. Let me speak a little to Everborn's energy, a little bit about one piece of it that y'all were talking about. Again, y'all know I have no dog in this fight. I think it's ridiculous altogether, but he did speak to one piece of it that I do think is interesting. Okay, and follow me here. We know that what the community wants. We've heard it in like over and over and over again, right? And many people think that there's some pandering going on, but many people think that it's not quite what we think it is, but we're paying attention and seeing what's what, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that there's a version of Gears of War 1 on PlayStation? There's a disc of Gears of War 1. If you look on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. I've actually played this version before. Don't ask me how. There's a version that exists.
How did
for
you do
PlayStation 3, right? It exists. You could even find it on YouTube.
How'd you do it?
I'll talk to you in
Don't
the
dodge
DM.
the question.
We'll talk to you in the DM after that. But needless to say,
don't incriminate yourself.
but needless to say, yeah, please incriminate yourself. But needless to say, right? At some point, that thing went from, yo, this is viable to nope, it's never going to see the light of day, right? To Everborn's point, Paris has already said it. There's already sunk cost and all of this, right? You will never be able to get the brain trust, the proper financial wherewithal to say, oh yeah, we're going exclusive fully. But if you eat the cost of specifically Halo Campaign Evolved, it would galvanize so much that when the dust settles and everything's still back to normal the way it is currently, most of those gamers won't care. They need a bone. I agree with him on that one. And they need to be strategic about which bone they throw them. I think Campaign Evolve is a good bone to throw. If we had a video this June and Asha says after serious deliberation, we've decided to keep like a Campaign Evolve, yeah, that is sunk cost. But I think that idea would galvanize those among the community who think that they're second-class citizens. That would change everything.
Oh my God, it would.
I think it's worth it.
And you know how much content we would make, K-Sante?
No, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to make an official exclusivity change. You don't have to make an official pivot of any, like, nothing. Keep it all the same. This one, say, after some deliberation, we've decided that is too close to our heart as far as the Xbox brand. That stays here. If they did that, holy crap, that would change some things. My thoughts on it. You know,
no, that's fair. And she did say she is looking at the numbers. Maybe they do the same thing that PlayStation is doing with PC, right? Looking at the numbers or whatever. The only thing is the majority of Xbox games are multiplayer, right?
But by and large, Dark, I will say what the great DJ Quick has said a long time, and I've said on this program many times. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. The idea that you think that they're gonna go exclusive for your benefit, if it means money is left on the table, stop talking, because you're just opening your mouth and recognizing how you don't understand business. There's no world where that happens. No world. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody did say that all money is not good money though. So maybe I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but maybe there is a world where Xbox does take back some form of exclusivity that does bolster brand a little bit more. I just don't see it because they had exclusives before and it didn't work.
Well,
so to the point problem Paris
made, they didn't have a
windowing.
Lot. They didn't have a lot of games.
They
had a couple.
It's about windowing, right? You're here for a little while. It's going to be there for a little while. It's about getting those folks with the FOMO out the way, and then the normal business can happen. Look at what happened to Forza Horizon recently. Look at how much money was spent on Steam in the last, I don't know how many, like 2 weeks or whatever. These are not Game Pass gamers. These are not gamers. These are specifically Steam gamers that bought premium editions to be able to play the premium version so they could get it early. Those are the FOMOers. So you get them early, get them out of the way. After that, everything else is normal fare. You know, the windowing, I think, is the way to go. Where, you know, maybe for a shorter.
What if they would have dropped that on PlayStation as well, day and date?
See, how much more would they have? That is the back and forth I talk to Everborn about pretty often, right? The minute you now have a data point showing how much potential investment or potential wherewithal you'll get from that platform, anytime and every time you don't put something there, your case must be super strong as to why it does not belong there, because they already know it makes a lot of money when it goes there. That is a very difficult thing to constantly keep having a fight, to constantly keep having to have to justify not putting it on that platform. Steel, you had something you wanted to say.
I think as far as exclusives are concerned, I can definitely understand the point of timed exclusivity, because it costs dev time to get these ported over to a different
platform.
That would be the only reason why I would even consider exclusives in any way, shape, or form. Other than that, exclusives are completely irrelevant to today's time. Reason being because the games that we are interested in, the generations behind us do not care for like that. They are not going to be the ones to buy those games. The exclusive for Xbox currently is their ecosystem. Their exclusive, what Xbox is doing is how they're going to traverse everybody and convert everybody to quote unquote PC players. If Project Helix is exactly everything that they are claiming that it's going to be, if all the rumors are said to be true, you are crossing bounds that PlayStation is not ready to step into. And now where they're going to make money at, as far as, oh, well, if Xbox has access to Steam and Epic and all this, where's Xbox making the money at? Well, we talk about, hey, what's going to entice somebody to buy hardware? That is going to be a reason, like we're starting to see trickles of why people are interested in getting ROG Xbox Ally, because you're seeing what is possible with that. If you are able to pitch to the consumer, hey, not only do you have access to your previous library, not only do you have access to our new games, but now you have access also to this whole other environment that you didn't have access to before. Now we're playing hardware wars. Now the exclusivity, we have to put the onus of exclusivity back on the companies and how they're going to pitch hardware to the consumer and make you believe in what they are doing on that front. Because as far as games go, there's not going to be enough people that are going to buy these games. Like we were mentioning Gears or Halo doesn't need to be exclusive anymore, because again, Halo is not the IP that it once was. Even with Combat Evolved, it does not need to be exclusive. We played that. We played it with MCC. Why do we want it to be exclusive now? Let people who haven't played that game play that game. It's only money for Xbox in that front.
Frankly, and I agree wholeheartedly with everything you've said. Frankly, the only place I see where exclusives matter at all to where the conversation's worth having is they have an install base that they have cultivated for years now under the old paradigm that, you buy my box, you play my game, right? And that paradigm still exists, even though they are the dying breed, right? Even though they are a dying breed, no doubt, we are a dying breed. Now I'll count myself among them, even though I'm not really a console main like that. Those who are of my age range are those kind of gamers who were cultivated by that competitive spirit from day one, from the playground, right? Now you're saying that the consoles are relevant, the exclusives are irrelevant. Yeah. They are irrelevant from a technical and from a usability perspective. But recently, what brought about Asha Sharma's reign and all of this, recently, we have seen that there's a strong contingency which Xbox is looking like they don't want to lose, that doesn't want this paradigm to change so damn quickly, right? And that's what has brought about all of this back conversation. So ultimately, is exclusivity necessary? Is all of this necessary? It is just necessary in that they have a good, strong 30, 40 million plus strong contingency. And they see that as they play with those terms and they make those terms a little less concrete than they used to be, that is also waning that install base. So whether it's important or not, let's say it's not important, because I agree that it's not important by and large, right? It is important because that is the glue that's keeping together these people that are galvanized, that have been there for so long.
And they're the ones
they got to keep them there.
Amount of money, and
they spend money. Yes, if they leave tomorrow, your future won't be, because you no longer have that cultivated base. You need that cultivated base to be there and turn them into whatever you want to turn them into. So you may not think it's important. I may not think it's important. Let's be clear. I don't think it's important, but these people here do. And because of that, you must now take this seriously.
But they've already given up on the exclusivity. The exclusivity fund is already over, because games have come.
It's already over.
It's already crossed
but
over.
To them,
that war. That's why I was saying it would be smarter, again, to what you guys were speaking to. It is smarter to make that play, or at least pitch it in the way that, oh, we're going to do timed exclusivity to appease everybody. Timed exclusivity is the answer. Why? Because it's going to cost you dev time anyway. Why not go ahead and make the money that you can up front to then just port that game later? So at the end of the day, sure, everybody wins at that stand front, but it's still you still don't have complete exclusivity though. So it's like the conversation of exclusives versus Game Pass it still becomes completely irrelevant, because Game Pass is always going to be the overall exclusive for you as the gamer, because to the point y'all were making, you're going to get your host, your slew of exclusive quote unquote games releasing day one into that platform that is also going to carry over into whatever other device that is going to allow you to have access into that ecosystem, which is the bounds that they're crossing.
And I agree with 90% of what you're saying. But the reason why Asha Sharma is here is because Microsoft recognizes that they've been doing damage to their core audience, and that audience were the Everborns. I also left Xbox primarily not because of some sort of exclusive thing. I didn't care. It was mostly because why am I, as an Xbox consumer, being negatively impacted because of your business decisions and your past decisions and how you are seen via other developers? Now I don't get to play BG3 day and date. Now I miss out on Black Myth Wukong. That's not my problem, right? And that's the reason why I moved to PC. But those problems that they allowed to occur inside of their ecosystem ended up having significant impact on the people like me that buy 20, 30, 40 games a year. And now that I'm not buying it inside of their ecosystem because the Xbox PC app is kind of trash, and that is its own conversation.
It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
A lot better, but I still don't have basic features like a cart. So when you have a sale, I'm supposed to buy one game at a time. What is this? The fucking 50s? Sorry for the language, but
get one, sir. You get one. Go ahead.
It's just certain things like that. We can get into detail about all the different problems, but as a PC player, I'm just buying my games off of Steam, and now you're losing out on all the third-party games that I used to buy, because now I'm a Game Pass person, and so they are doing the work to pull people back like me into the ecosystem. They might not pull me back into the console, but you need to do things that pull me into your ecosystem, because I'm one of the rare people that want to give you money. I want to give you money.
Right. But are you subscribed to Game Pass right now?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to Game Pass.
So am I. So they got us in the ecosystem.
No, yeah, but a vast majority of the third-party games, which, let's be honest, I play a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the games that I'm playing, I'm buying on Steam because I trust Steam's ecosystem.
Of course.
Crimson Desert, for example, right? I wanted to buy Crimson Desert on Xbox's ecosystem because I saw that it was Play Anywhere. But here's the problem, right? I open up the Xbox app for PC, I type in Crimson Desert. This is 2 weeks before the game comes out, right? It doesn't pop up. The only thing that pops up is Crimson Skies, right? So if I wanted to buy the game, I had to either go to the Microsoft store or go to Xbox.com.
Yeah.
Yada, yada. Why is it that the primary way that you're asking for your PC player to engage within your ecosystem doesn't fully pull up all the things that are inside of your store properly? So I have a bad feeling. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this game on Steam, right? Game comes out, and people who bought it on
the Xbox app have problems.
Launch the game.
Yeah.
And if this was a one-time problem for a highly anticipated game, I'd be more than willing to give them
game services update.
This is
some workaround.
Happens consistently. Remember when Ninja Gaiden Black 2 was released? Fantastic announcement. They were just like, "Yo, you can play the game right now." I go to my Xbox PC app, can't find it.
It does not. You had to go to the Microsoft store,
and then you have to go to the Microsoft store to be able to download it. Why? That doesn't make sense. Bro,
make sense.
like, the Forza Horizon 6 game that just came out, BV, shout out to BV. He paid for the $120 version on the Xbox version. Didn't buy it on Steam, buy it on inside of the Xbox ecosystem. Paid for the full upgrade. Why is it that when he goes to Forza Horizon 6 on the Xbox app, it won't let him download the game? And he has to go to the Microsoft store to download the game that he has access to, but it's not seeing there's something happening. That experience is terrible, and it leads people to just buy games on Steam. I want
100%.
money. You make it hard for me to give you money.
Maybe they're okay with that though.
No,
Because if Project Helix is going to have Steam on it, maybe they're okay with it.
I don't think that they are.
Pragmata,
they need to fix that.
Desert, all those games. I could have bought all of those games, which are third-party games, on Xbox's ecosystem, and they would have received the 30% from, or however much percent they would have gotten from that. Now they lose out on that percentage.
No, you're right. There's Xbox games that are on the Xbox app. When me and VG were going back and forth about when we were arguing about the Xbox app, there was games like Fable Anniversary Edition. You can only buy that on Steam.
Yep.
It's the Xbox game. It's not on the Xbox app. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Doom, the remake Doom, that's not on the Xbox app. You can only buy it on Steam. That's the Xbox game. It's Bethesda.
So they see all of the and I have similar bugaboos as well in certain ways. They see a lot of these and a lot of us pepper them with questions in that way. The thing that I see that tends to be a bit problematic is since the laundry list is long, and shout out to them for at least giving us a voice, right? You can now go and speak to which one's a problem and have people upvote it and all that. I don't think they have a prioritization down yet because there's just so many little bugaboos in so many different places that like it's the we hear you thing. It comes from so many different sources and we don't see it turn quickly because this is like, a huge company and as such you consumer would think, well, they're a huge company, they have infinite resources, this needs to turn around quickly. No, that means things take even longer to turn around than if they were smaller. It's a
this is why this scares me, K-Sante. This is why this poll scares me. This is why this whole exclusive versus Game Pass stuff scares me because they are listening and they are moving things fast. She did come in and say, "Oh, Game Pass is too expensive," and then we have never seen a subscription service drop in price, and she literally did that. Literally did. Yeah. So that means she is listening. So when I hear that now there's a blog post up there and people are trying to pin freaking exclusives versus Game Pass, I'm like, I pray to God she doesn't listen.
It's a dangerous question. It's a dangerous question.
Why would you even? Why I pray to God she doesn't listen, right? But you know what? This is the only thing that I will say where it might make sense. And I hate saying this. Apparently, they've not been doing that great financially, right? So if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So what does she have to lose? What if she says, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and make everything exclusive to the point where you know how you wanted to buy. You were able to buy those games on Steam. What if they took games off Steam and just kept them on the Xbox app? So now when you want to buy an Xbox game, you got to buy it on the Xbox app. That's a form of exclusivity. They could do that. They could do that as well. So it's like, be careful what it is that we're asking for when we talk about exclusivity. Because now they gave me, shout out to Xbox, they gifted me a Forza Horizon 6, the premium edition, but they gave me a choice. If I wanted to get the code on Steam or on Xbox, I got it on Steam. They could have just been like, no, you're only getting it on Xbox. And they could do that with games going forward. Everything just, if it's an Xbox game, it's only going to be on the Xbox app on the Xbox console. They could do that.
But you know what the problem with that would be?
Not enough gamers?
No. Well, sort of. But look at Epic. Epic tried that on PC, and it didn't work out so well. So I think they're seeing those lessons learned. That would be a mistake. Yeah, and I didn't mean to interrupt you other than to just bring in the fact that.
But isn't Fortnite exclusive on Epic, on PC? Well, now it's on Game Pass, but you can't get Fortnite on Steam.
No, you can't.
No,
you cannot. Yeah. So Epic does have exclusivity. Xbox, Epic is saying if you want to play Fortnite, you have to download our launcher. We don't care what the juggernaut Steam is. And guess what? People go ahead and download that launcher. And Fortnite is one of the most played games, right? Xbox is doing the same thing. Imagine if you can only buy Call of Duty on PC on the Xbox app. Imagine.
But see, there used to be a time where there was a time where Call of Duty was only on the Blizzard.
Battle.net, right?
Not on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that big of a game though. If you have a big game, you can almost do what you want.
But I
look at
think
Rockstar. Look at Rockstar and GTA on PC. It's only through their launcher. That's where it is. Well, now
right, but you're actually bringing up the point I'm trying to make here, Kay Sante. See, that's the problem. Steam is the dominant platform on PC, digital store, whatever you want to call it. I think Microsoft is, and you've already seen evidence of this. Microsoft waved the flag, their games are on Steam. EA waved the flag, their games are on Steam. Ubisoft waved the flag, their games are on Steam. Think about what Rockstar revealed to us just a few weeks ago. The majority of people play it on console, not on PC. I do think part of that reason is it's because it's not on Steam. This is what I'm saying. If you were to exclude Steam out of the equation on PC, you're hurting yourself. Yeah, you got to give up the 30% cut, but at the same time, are you generating more revenue being on Steam and on your digital store, or are you generating more revenue just being on your digital store? I think you're leaving money on the table again, is the point that I'm making.
Exactly. So I agree, Paris, but PlayStation is the Steam of consoles. So that's why you can't leave games. That's why you can't leave games off of PlayStation.
This is the point I'm making. That's the exact point I'm making. I think the only way it has to be the long-term play. And I'll say this too while I'm talking. I think Asha is coming in for the long play with Xbox. So you're not going to make short-term decisions that won't benefit you long-term, right? So I think and this is why we're fascinating to see how they navigate this whole exclusivity thing, moving forward, because I think it's about the long-term health of Xbox and the brand versus, and this is why you were talking about before, don't make your console people feel like second-class citizens. You need to make them feel seen. You got to make them feel valued, but at the same time, it is a business. You got to make money too. Again, this is why they get paid the big bucks and we don't. And we on a podcast on a Saturday morning, and she probably in the Pocono somewhere, right? But the point is, that's her job. This is why Matthew Ball's come in. This is their job. They got to figure out how to uplift the brand, but at the same time, continue to be a profitable business, but make your core audience feel happy at the same time. So I'm saying all that to just say, of course, they're going to continue to put their games on Steam. I don't see them being crazy enough to limit it to just the Microsoft store. But at the same time, we got to add value to the Microsoft store to get people that when they do decide to go buy a game, well, I can get Game Pass. I don't have to buy it here, or here's this other incentive for me to get it on the store versus me buying it where I'm already comfortable, which is Steam. And I think, again, that's the long play. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Again, we'll probably be in the 2030s before you actually see that Xbox, to where the Xbox store could potentially be a real rival to whatever Steam is doing on PC.
So, gentlemen,
they got a lot of work to
do.
Right?
There's a lot. The community is talking here, right? In our chat here, a lot of great people. We have over 400 people on the various platforms that we are connected to watching. Shout out to all the great people watching. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. I am a bad host. I do not remind you, and I will. Please hit the like button. Please, if you have not subscribed, think of subscribing. We do this on a weekly basis on a Saturday morning. But there are over 31 super chats, gentlemen. Many of them directly related to this topic. So I'm gonna defray some of those, and then we will catch up on a couple of few ones and twos before we get out of here. We tried to make it concise. We're about 2.5 hours in. But thank y'all for jumping on here with us. And by the way, shout out to the great Steel Rain, who had to jump out things at home real quick. Something happened. He had to go, but he as you know, he's in this community. He may not be on Living Split Screen on a weekly basis, but you'll see him most likely jump back on here or somewhere else at some point soon. So shout out to him for jumping on the show and lending his voice for this conversation. But let's quickly catch up on a couple of these. Mr. Too Opinionated with a $2 super chat. He says, it has to be a banger exclusive in the quality like Forza Horizon 6. I think he's speaking of, if you want exclusives to matter, it has to be Forza Horizon 6 quality. Otherwise, no one will probably pay attention to it. To my unfortunate pushback on that is that quality usually requires a higher budget. And can you then justify keeping it exclusive at that higher budget? That is the problem.
Good point.
Right? I've always said, if you want exclusives to exist again, then you have to claw the budgets back to 360 days. Are you ready to do that? Because if you can, then maybe they can keep it exclusive because the ROI will be okay for them to keep it only on this platform. if you're talking upper echelon price points, they have no choice to put it as far and wide as possible.
I mean, I think that Pragmata, beautiful game, but it
doesn't have to break the bank
in a way that that was probably relatively cheaper to make. So Pragmata is definitely hitting that ROI.
Yeah.
Same thing with Expedition 33.
Exactly. Well, Expedition, that is, I think that is a thing that breaks the mold, right? I don't use Expedition to make to Expedition or what do you call it? Baldur's Gate 3. Those are the exceptions, they tend to be. But in order for it to work more consistently, that needs in order for it to be consistent, like Xbox, in my opinion, has to treat their exclusive budgets like Nintendo treats them, because Nintendo's budgets are really strict, but they let the innovation fly. That is the only way I see them being able to get back to where they were, because $200 million is not something you can make, or whichever, how in that range. It's not something you can then do and say, okay, we're keeping this here. That just does not make financial sense, Anyway, Cheryl Tech, $2 super chat. He says, please hit the like button and share out a great member of our great moderator member of our community. Shout out to the great Cheryl Tech. And yes, please do so if you have not done so already. The great Hollywood Rules with a $5 super chat. He says, good morning, gray beards. Fresh off the driving from upstate New York to VA for some graduation and heading to work. Congratulations to Alicia. Congratulations, Alicia, on her graduation. That is awesome. Awesome. Yes, we love the idea that we are part of people's Saturday grind. You're hanging out, you're doing your adulting, and you're listening to us talking gaming in your ear in the morning while you do so. We appreciate you. Thank you to Hollywood Rules for joining us. Mr. Two Opinionated with a $5 super chat. He says exclusives and Game Pass have to coexist longer than Game Pass and no exclusive have. ABK changed the landscape. Yeah, I think so. I think ABK jumping in and muddying the waters is why we are where we are now. But we shouldn't allow it to make everything okay. You guys have all of that today. I don't think the question of this or that is even fair. You should stop even dignifying those questions with responses. Even though to that same point, I asked the same question, and it looks like 68% of our audience right now seems to suggest that Game Pass is the thing to choose, while 32% of our audience, with about 180 people voting, say that exclusives are more important. So there are those opinions. Yes. Let's see.
Wrong opinion.
Hey, I'm just putting it out there. Judah Roars with a $5 super chat. He says, if you think Amy won't come in and remove Game Pass anyway, you're also brain dead. Wow. Okay. Strong opinions this morning. Hollywood Rules with another $10 super chat.
You think no. Let's address that.
Go ahead, please.
Game Pass has around 30 million subscribers right now. You think that Amy Hood is going to disrupt and cancel something that is bringing them billions of dollars a year, just not passively, but just based off of people's subscription numbers, not based on anything else? I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to look at it in this simple term. If they were going to get rid of Game Pass, they'd have done it already. Asha had the perfect opportunity to kill it immediately, and they didn't.
She sure did.
There you go.
She sure did.
So let me finish Hollywood Rules. He has a $10 super chat. He says, I've been a console gamer primarily till recently, purchasing an ROG Ally X, and I've been here since the OG Xbox with multiple Xboxes in my house. In my home, rather. I'm part of the hardcore speaking loudly. They should listen. Man, I hope. Well, okay. It's not even that I hope. I know they're listening. I just hope they're not listening to just a one contingency rather than the whole.
I hope they're listening to the feeling and not the words, right? Because the feeling, because the feeling is something that they should address 100%. People have been feeling like they have been second-class citizens. You should address that feeling. But trying to give full exclusives to
exactly what they want,
that is dumb. Don't do that.
Stanley Buffington.
You should address the feelings that people are having.
Stanley Buffington with a $2 super chat. He says it's not exclusive if the game is on Steam. Period. There you go.
And you see, that's why when people say exclusive, you got to identify. Some people feel that way. Some people feel when they say they want exclusive that they want it back on the consoles only. Which at that
let's
point,
be clear. Yeah, let's be clear about that, right? I don't think this is a problem of exclusivity. I think this is a problem of putting your games on what the consumer perceives as your main rival platform. Right?
Yes,
like,
Especially
I'll get to the
like, and I know that Phil was trying to get the industry in a different place, and I love Phil for that, right? Because he is a visionary in a lot of ways, and he's willing to put himself in worse situations so that way the industry could get better. So I'm gonna shout him out for that. But you can't uplift PlayStation while they spit in your mouth. like PlayStation did nothing but try to destroy the ABK deal for years with Ryan, and then have since been using every single dollar that you give them via the games that you release on their games as ways to be able to continue to keep games off of your platform. So I'm not saying to go full console warrior. I think that's very stupid. But I think that it is fair to acknowledge that PlayStation is your competitor, and they are not going to. They are on boot on neck forever. That's the type of people that PlayStation are. They're not going to suddenly be buddy with you. So just realize that. Realize that the person that you're dealing with is an adversary. Is going to be adversarial towards you, despite them also being a partner when you're releasing your games like Call of Duty on their platform. I get it.
Here's what I think with this. I think Phil Spencer, I think he probably is going to he was of the mind that let the market take care of PlayStation, and the market will take care of PlayStation. That's one thing about the market that, and it seems like it's very, it's not as impactful, but economics has been economicsing for, generations, right? In human existence and human society. And this PlayStation that's been doing all this stuff, especially with what you said with the boots on the neck, that framework unraveled the moment Square Enix came out publicly to their shareholders and said, this isn't working for us with this, because a lot of the exclusivity has been third party. That's basically made the Xbox users feel like, why are we not getting games that are entitled to us? Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong were very significant pieces, as those games had showcased that they were going to Xbox, but PlayStation played that game afterwards and then put the Xbox gamer looking like they were crazy, right?
6 weeks before Black Myth Wukong was supposed to release. That's when we learned that it's not coming to Xbox. That's crazy.
That is it. That's a dirty tactic. However, the market has already come in and has corrected those 4 publishers. Square Enix has received instruction from the market. Pearl Abyss, well, they looked at their friends over at Shift Up, and then Game Science looked at the market and said, we've literally cut off an existing player base that we could have leveraged, and we had PC to bat for us. And then the others that are begging, I'm going to put the others in one category, that are begging to go back to Xbox right now with their games after all of the fiasco. That market correction is what Phil Spencer said in his 4 games thing. He said, at some point, we're not going to be seeing games that are just exclusive on one platform specifically. We're going to start seeing them everywhere else, because the market just has so much to offer. When Wukong didn't show up, we got Wu-Chan. Now, different game or whatever it is, but someone's going to make your game. That's literally the saying. If you listen to the game developer community,
gentlemen, let me catch up, please. I have almost 30 super chats. I got to catch up.
Go ahead.
I got a good analogy that I can't use yet. Okay, gosh darn it.
Go ahead, use your analogy.
No, it's going to take too long. Please go ahead.
All right. 108 Dragons with a $5 super chat. He says, good morning, brothers. 1 week and a half to all these great showcases. Let's go, chat. Awesome. Don't let one doom and gloom you. A lot of doom and gloom going on around here. Shout out to 108 Dragons. Look forward to seeing you soon, good sir. Let's see. We also have a new member of our chat, and that is Gibbs Bosson, who is I guess $2 Canadian. Just decided to give $2 Canadian because I guess he appreciates what we're doing here. Thank you so much. We appreciate your kindness. Next time, leave a message. We appreciate you. We also have, let's see, we have DJ Dashi 87 with I think this is a 100 Mexican. I think he's left the chat before. So shout out to you. Thank you so much. He says, I bought I have bought 8 years of Game Pass keys. Wow, that's insane.
He's Nigerian, Asante. He lives in Mexico.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Salute to you, good sir. My Western brother living in Mexico. He said
8 years?
8 years. 8 years of Game Pass keys.
Imagine
how this nonsense.
I'm selling mad. He's a madman.
Imagine how mad he's gonna be if they cancel Game Pass.
He says, if they do this nonsense, I'm selling all of my Game Pass keys, my Xbox console, and I'm sticking to Steam and Epic. Stupidity, all in the name of ego.
Smart man. Smart man.
Yes. Shout out to you, man. Because, that's 8 years of keys. That must be an investment. Damn. Mr. Too Opinionated with $5. He says, when I was exclusively on consoles, I was more than in favor of exclusives because I actually bought and played on consoles. Yeah. And then we have 108 Dragons again with a super chat. He says, after seeing these results on Twitter, I am so happy this topic is for only conversation because some of these players are really are nuts. Really, absolutely they are. I don't know. I'm sorry. Discord has kept me kind of inoculated. I don't spend as much time on Twitter tweets as I used to. Hearing this back and forth about, should we do this or should we do that? I'm like, really? That's a question? That is insane to me. I'm sorry. I thought that was nuts. Nuts. To even ask the question was nuts. But anyway, let's continue. Too Opinionated and continues with $5 super chat. He says the fact that people are willing to walk away from your platform and or games if a service go away tells me the strength of your brand and your content. Start there. Yeah, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. Now, let's see. Gibboson also comes with a £7 Canadian. He says, how long Disney Plus lasts with their content on Netflix. If Microsoft keeps multi-plat strategy, they will lose third-party support and ecosystem will go by 2030. That's an interesting way to pose it. I do see the Disney Plus analogy to Netflix, but ultimately, I don't think that it's exactly the same because I feel like in that Netflix Disney Plus example, Netflix was the big dog and they had to kind of establish themselves. That's why they took their ball and went home for a while. But even there, they seem to be kind of shaken out. But I appreciate
though?
Yes, sir.
More people would watch Avengers Endgame if it was on Netflix because more people subscribe to Netflix.
Facts.
That is true.
Facts.
That is indeed true. That is true. If they did that, more people would watch it and there'd be more subscribers. That's for sure. Judah Roars with a final super chat. He says, so you don't want studios to close, but you also don't care if studios make money. Can't play both sides. You see what I'm saying? Too much intelligence here on display. That's just weird, 108 Dragons with another 5. He says any game that grandfathers in and built by Xbox community should stay exclusive, but other games should be multi-plat. I see that, and I see a lot of people having some very good delineations in the sand. Right? I just think they should define something for the community because it might help. Right? C4 Skills. What files? He says, how can they grow the Xbox console? Are you guys saying kill the console, the consoles for Game Pass, pushing everyone to PlayStation consoles, turning Xbox into EA? WTF? I don't think we said that. I don't think we're saying that they are killing if they're killing a Game Pass for consoles. No. I think they should continue to allow Game Pass for consoles to exist.
Can I comment on this? Because this is, and this is no offense to the person directly with the super chat thing, but this is just the overall sentiment that I keep seeing. I'll say again, it was pretty freaking clear. Actually, can I go into my whole analogy right now that I wanted to do? I want to do my whole analogy. So
go ahead.
The worst thing that happened to the gaming industry was the pandemic. In this sense, it overinflated user engagement, how many people were playing games and all that. So then they started overhiring, overspending, all of that. Yeah. Because again, when Xbox acquired Bethesda, it was for exclusives. I 1000% know that because if you go see, I'm literally standing on the stage saying it myself. It was about exclusives when they got Bethesda. Activision, very different. Because when you got Activision, and this is where my analogy comes in. Remember the movie Goodfellas? Fantastic movie.
Yes,
from the 90s. Remember when the diner owner was a restaurant owner, was having issues with Tommy, and he went to Paulie.
Yep.
And he wanted Paulie to help him take care of it. So then he wound up going into business with Paulie. And then you have Henry Hill giving the voiceover, talking about now anytime he got a problem with Tommy, he can go to Paulie. Now anytime he got this, he can go to Paulie. But when it came time to get the money, when it was time for the diner owner to pay Paulie, F you, pay me. I don't care. Oh, you had a F you, pay me.
Right, F you, pay me. Yep.
This is what happened with Activision. Now you got to pay the piper. Because we just spent all these billions of dollars and we want that return on investment, and it completely changed their business model. So now you can't do the old school exclusivity thing. You can't just limit it to that anymore. That's just the reality of this industry right now. And I think I understand that people want exclusives. I get it. I 1,010,000,000% get it. It's just not reality anymore. You can't expect them to pull back these major tentpole titles that cost you hundreds of millions of dollars in 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 years of development time, and then think, well, we're only going to give it to a player base of 30 or 40 million people. It's not going to happen.
Especially knowing that we've spread it across the base before, and when we did, we made a killing. But no, because it'll make a subset happy. Now we're just going to leave that money sitting there.
And let me bring up the other point. I said this earlier, but I'll repeat it again. I get the point. Like this chat right here is saying, well, then how you expect the consoles to grow? Here's the problem, though. Who's spending $600, $700, $800, $1,000 on consoles anymore?
Right.
This is part of the problem. It is not affordable to think that Xbox can just say, well, Halo, Gears, Forza, all these things are exclusive now, and now tens of millions of people are going to go buy hardware. They're not going to do that because it costs too much. This is what I'm just being realistic about this. So I get the core audience wants it to all happen. I just don't think it's realistic from a financial standpoint to expect it to happen. So I think my thing is this, and I'll shut up. Go into this Xbox showcase with lowered expectations, because I have seen some wild stuff out there that I just don't think is going to happen. I think they will throw you a few bones, but don't expect the whole plate. That's all I'm saying. I feel you. And I feel you. You know what I mean?
That is good. That is a very good recommendation for people, and I hope people listen to you. I hope people listen.
They won't. People won't listen to me. People get mad at me. People get mad at me.
And you know what? We gonna clip this right here. That what you just said, I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna put that separately, just so people can just click on that and hear Paris give that recommendation. So when they inevitably don't follow your advice, we can use this against them later.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. Day Reezy, $5 super chat. He says, so it's okay to have to have factions 2 multiplayer everywhere, including Xbox. Having any parts of The Last of Us anywhere is still The Last of Us. Yeah, I guess the idea that the one drop rule, I guess, of gaming.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. For somebody like Sony, I think it makes sense because of their market position. But but for Xbox, I don't think it makes sense because of their market. They don't have 90 million customers to be able to sell the thing to, and that's before they consider PC, right? Because they have a lower number, it has to make sense.
Yep. All right. So before we continue, we have to bid farewell to a great member of this panel. And he came, he joined us. He had to bounce. VG Fight School. Thank you, VG, for being here. As you know, in the gaming circle, we jump in, we jump out. We lost Everborn. We've lost VG, and we've also lost the great Steel Rain. But we're still going on. But thanks to VG for joining us. I'm sure we'll get him back on here as well. And I guess. And we do have the Bungie topic, but before we do, I think Paris, you need to bounce as well. We're heading towards the end of our time with Paris.
Yeah,
Paris.
I need to bounce too, and I appreciate you having me up. By the way, I know. No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I was going to first ask you, where can we see you in the next couple of weeks? Will you be at Giant Bomb? Like, what's the festivities of the time?
Yeah. Actually, that's what I was going to go into. Yeah. I'll be on the Giant Bomb couch Friday night. I think that's when I'm scheduled to be on there.
Nice.
And I'm my schedule is fully booked. Like I've had to turn down appointments. I got so much stuff going on during Summer Game Fest. So I'll be at I want to say opening night live, but you know what Keely's gonna do Friday, Summer Game Fest. So I'll be there. Yeah. So I'll be there hanging out. Like I said, I'll do Giant Bomb thing that Friday night. My Saturday, I mean, when I say I am booked from morning to night, So I'll be pretty busy Saturday. I'll be doing a lot of Xbox stuff on Sunday, and then I'll be back at Summer Game Fest on Monday. So I'll be around. I'll definitely roll through the JW, per usual.
Cool.
I'm gonna try and hit the mix. When is the mix? Is that Friday?
That's Friday as well. Yeah. We
See, that's with Giant Bomb. That's going to be a maybe. I might not be able to make that one, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
we will be at play days, so you will see us in the background there.
So you're going to actual play days? You're going to be there?
Yes, we will be at play days.
Oh, great! Then I'll see you the whole time there. That'll be great. I know a lot of people from the community is going to be coming down and all that. I definitely want to be able to try and hang out as much as I can. I just know I'm going to be busy. But obviously, if you see me, please come say hello. The one thing that always kills me is that I always feel bummed about. Someone will tweet me and go, "Hey, I saw you, but I was too shy to come say hello." Please, look, I'm an introvert too. Please come say hello to me, please, because I like talking to people. I like hanging out. I like talking to the community in person because it is vastly different than it is on social media. Funny how that works out.
For sure.
But yeah, I'll be there. And like I said, I appreciate you having me on. I got to take off. I will say this one thing about Bungie. I know you're about to go in there before I go. Please. Sad day. Very sad day. This is a very sad day. Unfortunately, we knew this was coming. It was inevitable. Marathon just is not hitting the way that, I mean, a lot of us were saying this, but it's just living up to the reality of it. And I don't see this ending well. I just don't. And Destiny was a part of my life for 10 years. Me and my son literally we played this from he was 9 years old. He's 20 now, and we played it the whole way through. You know what I mean? So I've literally watched this boy grow up playing Destiny. So to see it end this way is it's just sad. It's just sad. I don't know if you saw what Luke Smith said yesterday online. I think he put it perfectly, but I don't see this ending well. Unfortunately, I don't see a Destiny 3 ever happening, and Marathon clock's ticking, unfortunately. And I think it ends with Bungie not being a thing anymore.
Man.
Yeah.
So sad. Yeah.
Yep. But I gotta go. So appreciate y'all having me on.
And, look forward to seeing you.
Crazy Paris.
I'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
All right, be safe.
Yeah. Yo, on that topic of Destiny 2, I'm just so sad about that. And then it brings me back to the mindset of there will be a time where no one will be able to play that game because it was an online only game. That sucks. Imagine what Paris just said, right? He basically watched his son grow to become an adult playing that game. And there'll come a time where that game will just not exist in public. You will not be able to go find a copy of it and just remember it doesn't exist anymore. I hate that. I don't know. That's just bad. That's just bad. Anyway, I have a few more super chats because people have been really, really generous today. And then we'll continue on. I know we want to.
It's because we pissed off a lot of people when we called.
I know. That's what it is. Yeah. I got about 15 more minutes, gentlemen. I got to head out too.
Cool. Excellent. We'll make sure we catch up before we get out of here.
Go ahead.
Hey, Reezy, $5 super chat. He says any part of Halo on PlayStation is still on PlayStation. They don't show up for Gears of War, therefore they won't show up for Halo. Just my opinion. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dan Reezy. Appreciate you. Mr. Two Pinion, $5 super chat. He says it doesn't have to be Gears or Halo, but it has to be great. Timed exclusivity only works if you don't announce it. People know 4 to 6 is coming. I get you. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing about it has to be great. I think that's just that's a boilerplate. All of it has to be great, or none of it matters, right? He continues on with $5 and says the difference is Nintendo is consistent, and you all are expecting one magic bullet to erase years of inconsistency in quality and exclusivity. I would say these days their consistency and their quality has risen like
we're not. No, that's the wrong statement. There was a year where Xbox won Publisher of the Year. Did they not?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's still there, man. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do.
That's where they also released like 8 games either via themselves or their partners. Like
these days they average 5, 6, 7 games a year, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think we can complain about their consistency and their quality. Other things, complaints, yes. But the whole Xbox got no games thing, that is hilariously over.
Or the whole Xbox doesn't have quality games is BS.
Yes.
They've been dropping quality games. The problem is that a 90 for Xbox is not equivalent to a 90 for PlayStation. A game on PlayStation that receives a score of like an 82 is considered amazing. It's different. I don't make the rules. It's different. That's why Nintendo can get away with N64 graphics and nobody says anything. It's different. I don't make the rules.
It's because Nintendo set those expectations from jump.
Yeah.
Right? And this is where the black eye for Microsoft and for Sony, in fact, is actually valid, because if you set the 1080p makes you a better gamer, eventually you get to diminishing returns, and now you got to claw it back.
Yeah.
That's what they did, right? It is what it is. Victor Alistine, $2 super chat. He says exclusive self-services, Game Pass, not consoles. That's an interesting thought on it. Let's see. Malcolm XLAX3. I'll say that with a $5 super chat. He says, as a casual gamer, and you see every game available now and upcoming come across shows like 3-4 games, are you buying this a year? Yeah, I think there's a different carve out between the casual gamer and the hardcore gamer, and depending on where what we're talking about, it may or may not speak to the casual gamer versus the hardcore, right? But the best message is where it speaks to both, right? And I honestly think the whole Game Pass versus exclusivity message, the reason why that is such a horrible message to deliver is because it's pitting casuals against hardcore, right? That's what that is. It's not telling the vendor what you want. It's basically saying, okay, hardcore gamer versus casual gamer, y'all fight it out, and whoever wins gets it. That's ridiculous. That should not be how it plays out. That's why I don't think it's smart. Then we have the great Web Dave with a $5 super chat. He says, K Asante, what a mega panel. The plan is a plan until it's not. Paris, Everborn, VG, Doc Dark, Lucius, Steel Rain, TTS. See you in LA. Xbox is back. Shout out to the great Web Dave. He's out there doing the great work, talking to the people. The great Black Viking with a $20 super chat. So kind, good sir. He says, keep Game Pass as is. Port to Nintendo instead of PlayStation to keep the margins up and also help brand recognition. Problem solved. You think so? I think the reason why they're complaining right now about PlayStation specifically is because PlayStation is so close to Xbox. If Nintendo was close to Xbox as far as the games and all that, if Nintendo was the stand-in, wouldn't people be just as upset? Right now, they are not. That's why people are okay with Nintendo. No,
yeah.
I feel like if it was Nintendo that was now neck and neck with Xbox like that, it'd be the same energy as they have for PlayStation. It wouldn't really matter. I don't know.
Oh yeah, let's call it for what it is. It's not really the community asking for exclusivity. The community is asking to keep games off of PlayStation.
Off of PlayStation.
That's really what it is.
Exactly. Yes.
Keep it on the Fire Stick. Keep it on the phone. Keep it on the tablet. Just don't give it to PlayStation. That's essentially what people are asking for.
That's exactly what they're asking for.
Because it's PlayStation who has spited these people for years. Yeah. It's PlayStation that kept games away from you. It wasn't the Fire Stick. It wasn't Steam. It wasn't, and on most occasions, it wasn't even Nintendo. It was always Sony who was keeping games from you, and that's why it feels terrible to give these people games when they are actively hurting you.
Yeah.
So that sneaky snack with a $5 super chat. He says Xbox has so many studios they can make just 3/4 of their games exclusive, and that will beat Sony's exclusive output per year. Why not both? Yeah, that's the thought. That's the thought. Right? And that's why we were talking that the windowing might be the way to go about it, right? Because not everything has to go, and not everything has to stay. They have enough to make it nuanced. Exactly.
I mean, they're doing that right now. Not everything is on PlayStation.
Yep. Exactly. And not everything is announced for PlayStation. Like I gave an example, Clockwork Revolution. I'm very excited for that game. There has been no PlayStation logo anywhere near that game so far.
Yeah. So let's see. Matthew 16 with a 250 euro super chat. He says supercalifragilistic Xbox acidosis.
Wow.
That's what he says.
Also, shout out to you for saying that all at once without
Hey, man. That's a good one.
Very impressive.
RDJ45 with a $10 super chat. He says, if selling more copies of a game is more important than having a strong storefront, then why is only Xbox doing it? Not Nintendo, not PlayStation or Valve. Who wants to take that?
What say that again?
If selling more copies of a game is more important than having a strong storefront, then why is only Xbox doing it? Why is Nintendo not doing it? Why is PlayStation or Valve not doing it? In other words, putting their games everywhere.
Well, Valve doesn't make games anymore.
Valve, yes,
they make hardware.
Valve isn't doing it because they don't make games.
Yeah.
And I would say I hear the argument here, but I think the reason why it might some see it differently is because Nintendo and PlayStation don't have the ability to do anything but to cultivate their strong storefront.
They have to, yeah.
You have no choice. That is your way. That is the only way to get into RGJ45's wallet is to cultivate a strong storefront. But Xbox can get into RDJ's wallet via the phone if he has one, via a laptop if he has one, via the cloud if he so chooses, right? That company has different options to get into your wallet. These other guys only have the storefront. That's why they cultivate it as much as they
and you're actually seeing Nintendo utilize their IPs for other means outside of video games. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're like, well, because we are exclusive bound, we have to find another way to make money off of these IPs. So they're making movies.
Yeah. True.
You know what that?
And by the way, shout out to the great Heart Geek Chani. He's in the chat. He says Valve does make games. He is right on that, and most of them are multi-plat. He's right on that as well. So there you go. Go ahead.
They did make games. They haven't made one in a while outside of Alex.
Just answer that. Let me just answer that question just a little bit. That question sounds like it's not fair type of statement. Like it's not fair that Sony can do this and Nintendo can do that, and Xbox can't do that. I hate that argument because sometimes it is that way. Sometimes it's not fair. Like Phil Spencer said it, they lost one of the worst generations to lose. I agree with that. The majority of people that are playing on PlayStation is because a lot of the friends are on PlayStation. PlayStation is just more popular. It is what it is, right? So the whole it's not fair. Why can one company do it and another company can't? It just is what it is, man. That's why Nintendo could release games at 720p or whatever, and nobody freaking complains about it. It is. It's not. You're correct. It's not fair.
The Nintendo will release a game that, if you look at it, the components, the pieces of it, the sound, the audio, the visuals, everything, every piece of it. If that game was everywhere else, they'd call it indie. But
they would crush the game. This is how insane Nintendo. This is how insane Nintendo is. When the Switch came out, all they released was a whole bunch of Wii U games.
Yeah.
The Switch came out, and it was a whole bunch of Wii U games that just got reported because nobody bought them on the Wii U.
Dominated.
And it crushed. Yeah.
Every one of those games sold crazy.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah. People complain about the Pokemon game, still sold millions.
Absolutely did. Yep. Yeah. Complained about the 30 frames or lack thereof and still bought the hell out of it. Hilarious.
Right. So
Mr. Dashi 87, 50 peso super chat says the only reason Xbox should do some form of exclusives is to please the rational fanboys. And they only do that because they are the loud minority. Absolutely. That is to my ear, that is what's happening now. Right, the fact that Ash is out there speaking to the community, having a back and forth, giving life to people's wants. What you're describing here, that's exactly why they're doing it. To make sure that the part of the fan base that they like, the quote unquote the rational fanboys, are still satiated, right? Because they are speaking loudly, clearly, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why any of this is getting done, because they know they need them ultimately. They know they need them. Whether or not what those fanboys want is good or not the point. Rational or not the point. Feasible about, not the point. They know they need something, and we have to keep them on the dole because we need them. That's what's happening here. Right? I don't see anything different beyond that. It's very interesting, you know. And some people are very gung ho because they're part of that contingency and they want that change. So they're missing the forest for the trees and thinking, yes, we're finally getting what we want. It is what it is. I hope we land the plane well, you know. Matthew 16 with another €6 super chat. He says, I personally think Halo and Gears should be exclusive on console. Everything else I don't care as long as I have access. You know, I kind of if there is a console warrior part of me, I kind of agree with that part, because in my mind's eye, Halo and Gears specifically, those two have always been so synonymous with that console, that specific console, that if they did do that, if they used those two as their calling card, I would not see anything wrong with that. Right? That would make sense to me.
What about Forza?
Put it everywhere, I don't care. I mean, the like as Paris said when he was here, the toothpaste is all over the floor, bro. What you gonna do? Claw that back in? Like, have you seen the sales? Good luck with that. Good luck justifying getting that one exclusive again. No way. That's just not happening, you know. And it shouldn't, I don't think, because that game deserves to be played by all. It needs to crush. It needs to be the dominant force that it deserves to be. And if putting it on PlayStation is what gets it there, I think that's a good look. You know, I think so. Let's see. He continues on with a €6 super chat and says, "Is Steam definitely going to be on Xbox Helix?" First off, initially, that seemed to be all but confirmed, but that was the prior regime, right? The only thing that I can speak right now, and you guys can tell me what you've heard out there in the ether, but the only thing I can confirm to this day that I'm still comfortable confirming is it will play PC binaries, executables.
Yes.
How that manifests, that still remains to be seen.
Yes.
You know, so will it play Steam? Like, will it have you press a button and Steam installs, a la how it does on the Ally X right now or via the FSC? I don't know that, right? In the prior regime, it seemed to suggest that they were going very much in that direction. Now that may have changed. Who knows? But what I do know even now is it will play PC binaries, and Steam is a PC binary. So we'll see. You know,
yeah. I think it has to. There's so many unknowns, right? If it is just the Xbox store, then we're gonna run into the problems that we were talking about in the podcast today, where there's games missing both from third party and even first party. So that's not gonna work. So that's why, to me, if they say it's gonna have the Xbox store and Steam, then okay, that makes sense, because as a gamer, you'll still be able to play everything. Now, they won't be able to make money off of you if you're buying the game off of Steam, but then that's why I said maybe they don't care. I don't know what the long play is. But if it doesn't have Steam, then whatever store it does have, it better have everything that the console store has. And then at that point, if it is like a PC, is there going to be a difference between playing the console version of a game and playing the PC version of the game, or are they all going to be PC versions of the game? You see, there's too many questions to ask.
That part of the console versus the PC, those are the early Michigas. When that transition happens during that first phase, there'll be a question of which version you're playing. I'm sure somebody will complain and show a library where you're seeing multiples of the same game, because the clip art, the art of the covers will be two of them side by side, PC versus the console. Over time, all that will be worked out.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at GOG Galaxy right now, I can see that I have. It shows me I have Cyberpunk. If you click, there's a little icon next to the Cyberpunk icon that shows me like 5 or 6 layers deep. Why? Because GOG can see my PlayStation library, can see my Xbox library, can see Steam, can see all those other places, and knows I have Cyberpunk in all of those locations as well. So instead of like putting them side by side like you would like a noob, which I do still expect from Xbox. I'm sorry, I do. Right. What these guys do is they give me one cover art, and then you can click that little icon to switch between which version you want. There are solutions already here.
Yeah, Steam does that too. Like if you have family share and 2 people have the same game, and let's say somebody has like a better version of the game, if you click on it, it'll ask you which version you want to play.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, exactly. There are solutions already available out there, ready to go. It's just they have not been cobbled together by this brand and this situation to solve the problem. So we'll see where we go. But I think there's some solutions to point to. Let's see. Player Fly 131 with a $5 super chat. He says Helldivers 2 took 2 years to come to Xbox, but Marathon was day one. So that, believe it or not, in both instances was because of the boss, the people who told them to do this. Guess who did that? PlayStation. Day one, because PlayStation said so. 2 years after, because after the game had already released on Helldivers 2 on PC, they were told, Arrowhead was called by PlayStation and instructed what to do next, which was put it on Xbox. So yeah,
which think about it. This generation, those live service games are the most important games for PlayStation. That's what they wanted to focus on. And they made those multi-plat. I think they should have dropped Helldivers day and date as well on Xbox. It would have been done even better. You know what I mean? All the numbers that I got, it would have done even better. I think they waited too long to drop it. Now Marathon is just Marathon. I don't think anything would have saved Marathon. So it is what it is. But
turns out a lot of Xbox more people are playing Marathon on Xbox than they are on PlayStation.
Yeah, but the majority of play on PCs, right?
Still, yes, they do.
Yeah, still on PC.
Oh, I see you in there, Black Skeleton, and I wholeheartedly agree, good sir. Alabaster Dawn is phenomenal. It's just not feature complete. So some of us have been holding off until 1.0 so we can complete the story. But yes, those who are playing Alabaster Dawn, we talked about it earlier today. Excellent game. More people should be hearing about it. If you're a console person, you'll hear about it soon when it's feature complete. But let's see. Mr. Dashi, 87 rather, with a 100 peso super chat. He says, even when consoles were affordable, the console space wasn't growing. This is why Xbox is giving us the ability to make our PC games an Xbox. And that's the only market that's growing. Everything else isn't.
That's true. PC is growing.
He is so true on that. And you'll see it consistently every cycle. The people who like Xbox will buy them. The number doesn't grow or shrink too much. The people who like PlayStation will buy them. The number doesn't grow or shrink too much. It's always bigger than the Xbox number for sure, but it's not like dwarfing them. The PlayStation people buy PlayStation, Xbox people buy Xbox, and where it grows is PC, right? Even on Xbox's in Xbox's financials, Microsoft rather, where they see the most growth is on PC and in subscription services. It is what it is. Right? Doesn't mean that the console lovers are now second class and they don't deserve them, right? Those markets are also still very big, but growth is happening on PC. It is what it is, D487 with a $10 super chat. He says, loved Doc Dark's appearance. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Salute to the great Doc Dark for being here. Appreciate
you guys.
Now, GNB Pods, also known as Gamsley, is in our chat. He here with a super chat, $2 super chat, and he says the best panel ever now that Everboard is gone. Damn.
Oh, the slander.
This is what he's doing to us. All right. Good for you, Gamsley. You're lucky that he's not here. I will make sure he hears this. You'll be hearing this in the Discord, sir. Hargeet with a $2 super chat. He says, rip to Game Pass. It was good while it lasted. Sir.
Oh my God, Hargy. Why would he say that?
Stop putting such evil onto the world, sir. Until I hear this until I hear something to the point of a Game Pass is dead in a real way from somebody, I think this is hyperbole, sir. You're hurting my heart by saying, don't do that. Don't do that. BT Maverick 707, $2 super chat. He says, let Lucius cook. Bro, Lucius likes to cook. He makes meals. He makes 6-course dinners. We're still eating. We're eating 5 days from now. That man likes to cook. Anyway, he also, and this is Gamsley with another two Canadian super chat. He says Nintendo has the best music in games. Stop the cap. I don't disagree with that. No, they do have great music.
Maybe the most nostalgic music, maybe.
Yeah. But when I say I guess the argument he was pushing back against, what I meant by that is they lean more in creativity than they do in finances.
Yes.
Everyone else puts quality to finances. So, the more money you throw at it, the better it is. Nintendo does not do that. They keep their budgets tight, but still the music, the visuals, everything else can still stand on its own and be considered quote unquote AAA, right? Even though from a financial perspective, we all know that is AA at best when you compare it to EA and anyone else, right? They have found a unique way of making their money back.
Yeah,
right? So that's
margins are
I'm not
crazy.
saying that in a good way, right? Like this is something that the other gaming vendors should be adopting. If people want exclusives, it's time to make those budgets tight so that those exclusives can exist without it forcing pressure on them. The great J Mac, who's been a member for 28 months, he says, to sum up the exclusivity question on Xbox, the original plan on a case by case basis. Hashtag graybeards. Sir, I do think more and more the case by case basis is manifesting more now. I'll be honest with you. Even though Phil said that, I wasn't. His energy and the way he moved didn't quite speak to that to me. But Asha might. I don't know. It's still up in there. Their case by case before didn't seem so case by case. It seemed more like it would go unless there's a reason for it not to.
Right.
100%.
So,
Mr. Two Opinionator with $2 super chat. He says Boomstick deserves to sleep better at night. Oh God, what are you doing, bro? Oh my God, you are terrible, sir. I see where he's going with that. For those who know, don't do that. That's not cool. My boy Boom, he's sleeping. He sleeps fine. Leave him alone. Anyway. Alvin 9033 with a $10 super chat, second to last one. He says, just a reminder, Asha, despite being prognosis on socials, has mentioned PS5 or publisher once. She hasn't talking about yes. She can't stop talking about Helix though. They know they need to form some exclusivity to sell it. Yes, they definitely know that. And I think that's why I was saying that the reason why they're here and what they're speaking to is to keep you whole. Is to keep you, gamer who pays attention to social, who's upset about maybe their marketing not being so right. This is directly to assist, to speak to you and say, look, we heard you. Now look at how we're moving, right? That's what Asha's doing right now. And to that, I think she deserves credit. The great Pixel with a $2 super chat. He says, so Xbox should not try to capture new players?
They are capturing new players. If they put their games on everywhere, that's capturing new players. Yes. 500 million people that bought Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation 5. Those are new Xbox gamers there. They're playing an Xbox game. Those are 500 million people that weren't going to buy an Xbox for that game. That went ahead and bought that game over there. So yes, they are capturing new players. Now, if you think they're going to capture new players by keeping games exclusive to the Helix, I mean, good luck with that. Well, the only way we're going to know is if they do it. But my opinion would be if they're going to go ahead and go exclusive, don't play around. Just go all out. Go ahead and go all out exclusive. Matter of fact, take games off of Steam and just make them exclusive to the Xbox PC app. If you really want to capture as many players as possible and you think that exclusivity is the way to do it, then go all out. I don't understand why you would tit for tat, because it's the same argument that PC gamers have. If we know that a PlayStation game is going to come to PC, I will wait 2 years for Ghost of Yotei. Yeah. I will wait a year for Wolverine. I'm not tripping. Like, you know what I mean?
What if they don't tell you that it's coming?
But here's the counter to that, though.
And then your opponent is your own mind, right?
As we've already just described, PlayStation gamers are gonna buy their PlayStation. Xbox gamers are going to buy their Xbox. Whether you put the game they want here, there, or anywhere, that number, and I'm talking statistically, does not change. We've seen the cycle at the end multiple times. But please come here, but please go there. Ultimately, it's like grains of sand. When it hardens and it solidifies and we look back at the previous generation, it doesn't move anything differently. The people who liked Xbox always did. They always bought it. Nothing changed them. The people who like PlayStation always bought it. Nothing changed them, right? And if that is what's in your mind,
there was one time that changed, and that was during the transition of the Xbox 360 to Xbox One.
360 to Xbox One, but that was because of Xbox.
So bad.
Yes. But in general, the people who like what they like buy what they like, and it's not one product or one price or any one thing that changes that equation, unless you, as part of your onboarding cycle, screw the pooch so badly that you move the people elsewhere, right? Even PS3 can say they had a bit of that when they said you're gonna buy you're gonna need an extra job to buy this thing, right? And that moved people to 360, right? They did, right? And then TV moved people back to Xbox One, to PS4. It is what it is. But in general, when all things are equal, it doesn't move units to overtures left and right. The people who like them will continue to buy them, and then everyone else will be on PC. So if that is the case, and that's statistically what has been borne out multiple times, why should they be afraid to put their games everywhere they want to? Because they know that, hey, the people who already like the Xbox thing will just buy it there. The people who are liking it on PlayStation will already buy. They've seen this, like with the exception of you screwing the message, which we've also seen, right? We've seen that and we've acknowledged that.
Yeah.
At the end of every cycle, it's always the same.
Let me tell you how bad they screwed the message, right? Everyone hated. Well, apparently, I didn't realize this, but apparently everybody hated that this is an Xbox thing. Apparently, everybody hated it. I didn't realize. Yeah. I missed that memo. I thought we were all on board with this is an Xbox. But as soon as Asher got rid of this is an Xbox, the message behind it, then everybody was on board. But guess what? Everything is still an Xbox. Nothing actually changed. My Fire Stick can still play the Xbox, the Xbox Cloud, right? My PC is still an Xbox. My Asus ROG Ally X still an Xbox, right? So nothing actually changed. It's just the messaging, right? Which again goes back to catering to feelings, which is perfectly fine. My only thing is this, right? It sounds like she's listening to what the community is saying, and that terrifies me. If the way they want to onboard people is by making games exclusive and getting rid of freaking Game Pass. So by all means, make all the games exclusive if you want, but don't touch Game Pass. Leave Game Pass alone. That's the only thing I would say.
So one thing, Doc, I will give her some credit and say, so far, I have not seen her make a dumb decision because the community wanted her to. Right? If I have any ire right now, if I have any kind of what the hell is going on right now with any of this, it's the fact that people are asking this dumb question in the first place because I'm afraid it will influence negatively. I have not seen her or her team take a bad take and move it forward because the community wants it so. I haven't seen that.
But I've seen her do things to make the community feel good. That's not really a huge victory. That's kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You know,
she hasn't heard anything yet. This would be hurting something.
This would be hurting. I agree.
Right? She hasn't made any overtures that were cutting the nose of the consumer despite their face because they want exclusive. This would be that. And she hasn't done that yet. So I give her credit, and hopefully to what Lucius was saying, she understands the sentiment or the feeling behind what was being said rather than the actual words that are being said, because those words are stupid. I'm sorry. Those are stupid words. Anyway, the Septic Sauce, the great Septic Sauce with a 5-pounder, he's in here. He says anyone who picked Game Pass over exclusives needs to be sectioned.
Shout out to Gas.
You know what I'm saying? There's opinions, man. This is what it is.
I agree with him. It's crazy.
And then, of course, Gamsley with a 2-pound, two Canadian dollars says millions, 5 million, sir.
Yeah,
I need you to elaborate on that. What do you mean by?
I think he was applying to the Forza Steam asset.
Yeah, 5 million.
Yeah.
On PS5 box.
PS5, yeah.
PS5, yes.
Those 5 million people weren't going to buy an Xbox for that game.
Exactly.
Because they would have already bought it.
Bro, those 5 million people are diehard PlayStation people.
Yeah.
Who saw the game, thought the game was cool, but it was never cool enough to warrant leaving that ecosystem.
Correct.
Now you have their money too, right? So the idea that this is why I'm like, let it go, man, right? The PlayStation people will always be there. They will not leave for you. They just won't. So just let them buy.
They don't love you, man.
That's right. But they'll at least throw you some bucks. It is what it is. And if you like the Xbox, keep liking the Xbox. They will love you there too. Why must it be a fight to bring them over? Not everybody wants to come over.
Oh, right? wait. I'm sorry. I misunderstood Gas's position. Gas prefers exclusives over Game Pass?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's wrong. He's wrong. He's never been wrong in his life.
He's a console warrior.
He's never been. He's not. He's a PC gamer. He's a console warrior.
No. He is the quintessential console warrior.
Just because you leave the console streets doesn't mean
does not mean yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Person who is a console warrior, it is Gas, and he will fight in the streets bloody. He doesn't care if both consoles die insolvency. As long as
I will warn you,
J-Rock in the streets, that's all he cares about.
I got to head out, but I want to say one last statement before I leave.
Yeah, man.
All right. So here's the deal. To everybody that's out there that's saying that Xbox should have exclusives so that they go ahead and sell more hardware. What I'm going to say to that is this. Wouldn't it make sense that the exclusive that they choose would be the most popular games, the games that people play the most? Would that make sense? The bigger games? Would that make sense to make those exclusive?
Call of Duty, right?
Okay, so then that means that if you are really about that life and you're saying that Xbox should have exclusives, then you should be on board with Xbox not only having Call of Duty exclusive, but Minecraft as well. If you make Minecraft and Call of Duty exclusive to the Xbox Helix, right? If you care about hardware, right? Get it off of PC, because now I see some people in the chat talking about like if you want to sell hardware, okay, take it off of PC as well too. Then right, do that, and then let's see. Then at that point you would have a solid argument as to that you actually believe in exclusivity. But if you're saying that you want games to be exclusive to the hardware so that they can sell the hardware, but you don't want them to make their most popular games exclusive, it doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. You got to make it make sense. Yeah. Hey, I want games to be exclusive to the hardware so that they can sell hardware and they can get new gamers onto that hardware. Okay, well then let's make the biggest games exclusive. No, let's not do that. They're multiplayer games. Like what?
Yeah. I think this is a battle that you and Septic Sauce need to have face to face, sir.
Facts.
I would love to watch that podcast. He's in the chat right now. He says, "Do you think the massive reverberation? What do you think? What do you know of the massive reverberation if you made Minecraft and Call of Duty exclusive? Do you think Sony would be less or more aggressive? Would competition get worse or better?" So he's agreeing with you that they should make their big dogs exclusive. He's agreeing with you.
Listen, if Xbox was to make Call of Duty exclusive, there's nothing on the market like Call of Duty. Not even Battlefield. I know all you Battlefield fans out there saying there's nothing like it. If you make that Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox, meaning the console, right? If you wanted to do that, it would destroy PlayStation. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from Jim Ryan. That's not coming from me. Jim Ryan said it. Why did they try to block the Activision
deal? That'll never happen, right? In a vacuum, that'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
Because regulators would eat these guys for lunch.
It would be crazy.
That Microsoft will never go back to a regulator is asinine. They're going to go back. They're going to go want to buy something. So there's no way they're going to put any of these exclusives out there. They're not going to do it. I don't see that happening.
Right. And then I saw somebody else before I leave say, Microsoft, this Windows, that doesn't make any sense for them to take it off of the PC. Okay, correct. But Steam is not Windows. If you have Champion exclusive, should Xbox take all their games off of Steam and just have it on the Xbox app? Again, if you're going to champion exclusivity, Picklebit, I see you, Picklebit. I would argue, Picklebit, that Call of Duty would move more gamers to Xbox if it was exclusive than any other game that Xbox has. So if you are about onboarding new gamers, tell me how I'm wrong. You won't be able to, regardless if I'm loud. There's no game that would move more gamers to a platform than Call of Duty. If GTA 6 was exclusive, maybe that game as well. But what game does Xbox have that would move games? Come on, Picklebit, tell me.
Doc Dark. I think you and Pixel should regulate that to.
I changed his name. His name is Picklebit. I changed his name. His name is Picklebit.
Y'all should be in the Discord. We have these kind of debates in the Discord daily. That's right, daily, right? And we do it without the PG-13 restraints that we do here. So join us in that.
All right, guys. I gotta head out though. I appreciate y'all.
Bro, it was awesome having you here. It's always a pleasure having you on. Let the people know where else they can keep up with your ongoings, sir.
I appreciate that. Y'all know me, man. Doc Dark 1985. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch. I do have a PlayStation account. Don't really use it too much. I'm on Steam as well. And yeah, come check me out sometimes. I speak nothing but facts. That's it.
There you go.
Maybe a little bit of trolling sometimes. Sometimes.
But again, and I see some people in our chat to say this, and I will extend the invite here on Front Street. Join the Discord, bro. I think you would enjoy some of the conversations we have there. We do audio conversations back and forth. A lot of this, so you'd have a great time. Anyway, but thank you for joining us, bro. It's always great to have you here, man.
How you guys are doing? Peace.
You too, sir. You too. Let me catch up on the 3 super chats to go, and then I know, Lucius, there was a couple topics you wanted at least throw some opinions out on, and then we'll get out of here because we're running long. Let me get this down here. So Matthew 16 with a £6 super chat, and he says, I see a huge buzz around Xbox now thanks to new leadership. We are Xbox. They are very good at the messaging. They are very, very good at the messaging. I've seen that. I see a question of where is the link to the Discord. I will put the link to the Discord. Gentlemen in the chat, if y'all could put a link to the Discord for us, please, that would be appreciated. And I will also put it on this screen so you can see it right here. Just go down there, discord.gg/The Gaming Circle Podcast, TGCP. You go there, you agree to the terms of service, and from there on, you'll be part of the fray. So join us. We always have a lot of great fun there. Thank y'all so much for considering it. Now, the great Pixelbit G, or Picklebit G, as he's being referred to now. Damn, with a $5, he says, y'all CT like me, players aren't being created. That new creators aren't being created every year. That's ignorant. Capturing new players in your hardware is required exclusives. Yes. Well, okay, so I would agree that has required exclusive historically, but are you telling me, Pixel, and this you can answer me in the Discord later, are you telling me that there's no world where a company can offer you some new incentive to get you to buy that hardware? That exclusive games are the only barometer? I know historically they have been, but you can't find any paradigm where they offer you something that the other guy doesn't, so that even though that game is elsewhere, you'll buy it there. It's just a thought, because this seemingly endless resource company is saying that they're trying to head down that path. I thought that was interesting. The question is, what is it that they can offer to make that enticing statement, right? I don't know what that is, but yes, we should jump into Discord and discuss that more. Son of Vision 02 with a $5 super chat. Haven't seen him around here. I love the icon. Appreciate you being here. Says either PlayStation is stupid for focusing on brand and losing money, or smart for protecting their brand and losing money with exclusives. Which one is it? That is a very pertinent question. Very pertinent question. And time will tell, in my estimation, what side of the coin that falls on. Right? Because both could be very true at this point. I think this is a Schrodinger's cat question. We'll have to check in and see which side of the coin is actually righteous. Give it a couple of months, But that's a very good question. And finally, y'all been real prolific today. Thank you so much. Finally, the last super chat of the day, the Winter Soldier, which I love that super chat, that name, by the way. He has a $5 super chat. He says exclusives are really for the hardcore and to keep them happy. For casuals, it takes that plus good marketing plus dev support on the level of at least PlayStation 5. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's wrong. You're right that the hardcore are moved by exclusives more than anything else, and that the casuals need more. I do agree with that. But okay, Lucius, I know there were other conversations you wanted to have. We touched briefly on the Bungie conversation. Yeah. Where else would you want us to go before we get out of here?
I think that should be the last thing, just so that we can clean up on it. And obviously, what's happening to Bungie is terrible. The fact that and honestly, Destiny has always had this problem where like entire campaigns would just be gone because they decided that they can't support it anymore.
They vaulted all these things. Yep, I remember those.
So now that everything, like the entire game, is essentially going to be vaulted, we need to speak on kind of like the Stop Killing Games movement and how that might be able to fix problems like this. But I think that that's a larger conversation for another time. But the last thing that I'll say about this whole Bungie thing is, imagine if Xbox were the ones who managed this badly and then had to, God forbid, shut them down. Bro, you would have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of articles talking about how terrible the Xbox leadership is and how they don't have any vision and X, Y, and Z. But I've seen no articles talk about lack of vision from Sony and the fact that they have completely wasted billions of dollars getting this asset that did not work out for them.
Yeah, I would at least like to see some articles written about the legacy that will inevitably have to be left behind, right? The creators of such great games as Halo, the awesome franchise that it was, and how many times how much hours have been spent on Destiny 1 and 2, right? Say what you will about them, say what you will about their style and how they created the game, and maybe critique how their financials were on getting that game properly profitable, but they created a huge zeitgeist movement. And for twice in the lifetime of many consumers, they were the name in gaming. Destiny took it to the sky, as did Halo, right? And this all came from one development house. So the fact that it's all seemingly looking like they're no longer for this world, and they will be a memory. It is a sad thing that we all need to sit down and spend a moment talking about. And to your point, Lucius, if this was done under Microsoft's tenure, holy crap, fire and brimstone. But because it's not, we'll leave that there.
Exactly.
We'll leave that there. Yeah.
Some would call that a tax.
Some would call that a tax. Yeah, some would call that a tax. But what are we talking about? Just so you guys understand full well exactly what the details are. Recent tips dropped by the tipster himself, Jason Schreier, talking about pending layoffs coming to Bungie because Destiny 2 is not doing so well, obviously, right? Their new games aren't doing so well, and there's no active plan to create Destiny 3 at this point. So it doesn't look like Bungie as we know it will exist for much longer, right? So that is the very sad state of affair. We don't have too much time to go over it. I wish Everborn Saga was here because I know he was super excited. He watches the Business of Gaming podcast all the time with Chris Dring, and he's a big fan of when Matthew Ball shows up because if you don't know, the Ball Report is a yearly business analyst report that comes out that basically gives you all the ramifications, the ins and outs, the ups and downs, all that stuff in the gaming sphere, and it's proven to be very prognosticating and very, very, very accurate. So with that in mind, the news that Matthew Ball is now chief strategic officer at Xbox, super interesting, super interesting. What will that mean? Some people think it's the next coming and it's gonna be fantastic. Other people think it's the data-driven company getting another guy that's also very data-driven. It might just be more of the same.
Yeah.
So we'll know. More to see.
Just because you can project where things are going doesn't mean that you can simultaneously do the dance of having their own ecosystem and knowing how to navigate that situation. Microsoft has always been good at calling out balls and strikes. They have not been very good at getting those strikes themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, they can always see it coming, but they never can capitalize on it. They see the future coming, and then more often than not, another company comes in and capitalizes on what they saw.
It's all about execution. You can have all the vision that you want, but if you can't execute, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Another thing I would talk about is the fact that Destiny Rising, which was a huge online mobile push for Destiny, has seen it fall like a freaking stone. It's insane how drastic this thing has fallen. Just another casualty of this whole shakeup with Destiny and Bungie and Sony and all of this stuff. Very, very sad. The last bit of news that I wanted to quickly chat about, we don't have too much time to dig into it, but it had such good smattering of slander that I thought it'd be useful and funny for people to pay attention to, which was this article. I don't know if most people caught this, but Bobby Kotick is out there, and he has not left because there was a lawsuit that had come about in Sweden that contended that Bobby Kotick, at the time that he was the CEO of ABK, he moved too quickly to sell it off because he quote unquote was trying to escape the fallout from the sexual misconduct scandals at Activision at the time.
Which we all agree 100% happened.
Which is what the lawsuit contends, right? The reason why I bring this up is because Kotick's response is, ready? He claims that the negative press and all of that, he claims that the lawsuit was intended to quote unquote benefit the Embracer Group, suggesting that suggesting that Embracer could have gained an advantage in the California gamers industry if Activision were weakened. He argued that the suit would have made it harder for Activision to recruit talent and pursue the M&A growth, indirectly helping Embracer. It's gotten so far that Embracer themselves have come out and strongly denied involvement, calling Kotick's theory baseless and saying that it doesn't need help from the Swedish compensation fund to compete. They don't need money. They're doing their thing. I don't know if you heard this. You should read this article. It's full of slander. Kotick won't leave it alone. He's out there going, yo, they did this just because our boot continued to be on their neck. That's why they did this.
That's cool.
Yes. Kotick is out there talking a lot of stuff. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so a lot going on in gaming, but I think we're done here. We're almost at 4 hours. We're three and a half, heading towards 4. So I think that's about it. Mr. Everborn Saga came and went. So too did many of the other great guests. Lucius, what do you have for us before we get out of here?
Nothing. I just please join our Discord. And I know that we say that every single week, but you guys should also join the voice channels of the Discord. So when you see a bunch of people inside of the Discord, whatever, chopping it up, you can jump in. And I know that there's a lot of people who may not feel comfortable with saying anything, and that's totally fine. You don't have to say anything. If you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoyed the conversation that we had today, these are the normal conversations that we have all the time. And there's a lot of you may walk in and it may seem like there's two pit bulls trying to tear each other's heads off. That's just a normal conversation. Don't be afraid. It's totally fine. Everybody there understands boundaries, and we try to do our best to make sure that, like, as much as the conversations can get heated, it's always coming from a place of respect, and that people aren't intentionally trying to be disrespectful. So that's what we really care about.
I think this meme totally encapsulates a lot of what happens in our Discord. Ready? Yeah. A lot of this happens in our Discord. I'm sorry. It is what it is. A lot of that happens in our Discord. It is what it is. And sometimes they're not just Xbox versus PC. It's also Discord. It's also PC people versus PC people. This happens a lot in our Discord.
Sometimes it's like you'll have AMD versus NVIDIA conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Versus AMD. It's just, it gets ridiculous.
But we have a great time, and we always keep it fun. We always keep it gaming as you would, even when Gamsley's around. But all right, that's it from us. We've had a barn burner of an episode. Shout out to the great Everborn Saga. Shout out to Paris Lily. Shout out to Steel Rain, VG Fight School, of course, the great Doc Dark. So many people joined us. We had a great conversation. We're gonna keep this conversation as we do in the Discord. We'll see y'all next week. But I think that has been it for us. So until next week, peace. Have a good one, y'all.
Peace.